Think we're live now. Let me see. Yeah, I think we're live now. I'm not sure how the quality will be simply because of the I had to change my encoder simply because OBS wasn't letting me start with my previous encoder for my GPU. Anyways, tournament has started. Let me generate the bracket. Tournament has started. Bracket generate. Oh, what just happened? I think the video just my GPU just updated. That's not good. It's not good midstream. Um, Nonetheless, hopefully things will still be okay. I think actually Discord just crashed, so I think I'm still good though. Yeah, let's see. Okay, let me open up the game real quick. Hopefully I'm still good at least. Okay, yeah. Odd manager, making sure total tavern is on the map pack at least. Yep, total tavern map pack up. Okay, open the game. Wrong screen capture. Okay, here we go. Let's just hop in on the first one we see. There you go. I'm guessing 1, 2, 3. Hopefully, yeah. Okay, cool. If there's any buffering, let me know, guys. I am unfortunately I am trying to. I had to do a different encoder again because something was wrong with my GPU, or rather, OBS was having issues. Let it switch my encoder might cause issues. I'm not sure though. We'll see. Again, I'll just have to let me know. But also my audio needs to be turned up as well. Let me turn on my audio first before I. Oops, wrong thing. Or before I mess with anything else. Alright, multiplayer. Alright, I'm in Stark's lobby. What's the bracket looking like? How many players have we got signed up? Let me check. Refresh the page, browser capture. I'm not sure if it'll. Yeah, there we go. I didn't even check how many we got signed up. So, not bad, not bad for a turnout, honestly. We got in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, that is pretty big for a Noob tournament. 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay, I was making sure everybody was here. I don't know why you would. Yeah, I don't know why you would put these two in the brackets next, but it doesn't matter either way. It works out. So. But yeah, pretty decent turnout. Wow, I'm very surprised. I was totally prepared to not to have to reschedule again. But hopefully, there's not too much issues. Too many issues, rather. Seems like people are finding their opponents at least. So it looks like there will be 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds total. So I don't have to worry about I don't have to worry too much about map rounds. I mean, rather more than 4 rounds of maps. Let me change those. Let me take off the browser capture real quick and swap that. Yeah, OBS actually does that to me as well. Every single update. That's why I just stopped updating OBS. I actually don't usually have many issues with OBS aside from that mic issues. Uh, for some reason, and I was just recording. I was just recording the other day with OBS. It decided that I can't stream with the same encoder because my GPU needs updated. But yes, whatever. Let me change the tournament description really quickly. Honestly, kind of forgot I was even hosting a tournament until I looked over at Total Tavern and saw that I started a tournament up. Let's see. Okay, so Serica, if you're still here, which is assuming you are Borderloo Landing, Rifts at World's Edge, and Sacred Chinook of Chakwa, are they still like good competitive maps? I know I got this from the Hitman Hippos list, so I'm assuming most of these are fairly competitive. Yeah, that's the thing as well. I mean, hopefully, I'm expecting as little drops as possible, considering. I mean, best of threes are over pretty quickly, so that's kind of why I did it over Swift. Is because they go a lot faster typically. Not a whole lot of downtime. This person has found their tournament opponent. Good. And is it the correct map? I don't even remember what the map is. Is it Ekrant? Yeah, gets of Ekrant. I don't know why every time I copy from Discord into the Total Tavern's website, it has like a background on the um on the text, so it's hard to see with. I have to retype everything. don't even know if I spelled Bordeloo right, but I'm sure people will find it. Sacred Chino of Chakwa. Let me see. Hopefully that fixes it. Oh, go ahead and start your game. It's fine. Don't worry about it, Harrison. I'm just gonna join on whatever matches I can get into once in each bracket. I can't unfortunately spectate every game. But if people want to save it, if people save their replays, I will cast them. Again, the text is all messed up. One dimensional. Okay. What yeah, is Chakwa the 3-lane lizardman map with just like there's a sparse bit of trees around it. If it's what I'm thinking of, it's a like desert lizardman map type with a little bit of water, not a whole lot, just like a small little lake. If so, I can see how it could be very one-dimensional. If you have a recommendation for replacing it, feel free. Also, feel free to let me know as well how the stream is because again, one, OBS is telling me that YouTube isn't getting enough video or whatever, so my viewers might experience buffering. I don't want the huge camp. I want the huge ramp. Maybe I haven't played on Chakra. Oh, you know what? Yes, yes. I know exactly what you're. Okay. It's the one where it has like this single lane you go up, and it has the. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. In that case, I might replace that then. Maybe I'll do. Maybe crater. I do like a good crater. Okay, I'm glad the audio and everything sounds good. Thank you. Again, it's been quite a while since I streamed as well. I've done like one live cast stream in a year probably. Another thing as well is I'm not sure how 3x3 picking will go with best of 3. I'm not sure if people would just kind of get tired of having it repeated over and over again, but at the same time, I mean, because typically, 3x3 is done with best of ones. So, but at the same time, again, people have been doing best of 3 um band 3 pick 1 since the Age of Warhammer 1 tournaments, so maybe it won't be too big of a problem for people. Maybe people won't be too thrown off by it or annoyed by it. But I do know it takes a while, so which is to be expected either way with new tournaments. New tournaments, they just tend to take a while. So because people are getting adjusted, they don't know how things work typically. So there has to be a bit of time given to newer players, a bit more time compared to like people who've already experienced the game or tournaments and who know what the tournament format is like and have gone through it. So you just got to give them a little bit more time than expected. Seems like we do have vampire accounts in Norska. From let me check the total tavern website just to see what the win rate between these two factions is. Let me check the browser capture real quick. So if you go over to the leaderboard, and for viewers who don't know much about the total tavern website themselves or how to navigate it, you just go over here to not leaderboard, excuse me, stats, and you go to the current stats. We can check over here on the vampire accounts and see how they fare up against Norska. Not a whole lot of games played, unfortunately. So right now it kind of just looks like vampire accounts get an easy win over Norska. They don't though. They it just needs a bigger pool of testing. We go back to maybe the previous. Let me see. Maybe vampire accounts weren't played much here. Here we go. Vampire accounts being the second highest played faction. Up against Norsa again, they only have 1 win, 0 losses. So there's a very small sampling pool. Oh, actually, what am I doing? I'm doing the very old stats. What am I crazy? So wow, vampire counts. That is so funny. Going back to 2022 and seeing them second played, and then you go down here and they're third, or rather second highest win rate, and then you go down to the newest time and you see them down to 39% win rate. That's tough. But up against Norska, it seems like they had again another small sample pool. 5 matches played total, 3 losses for vampire counts. But I do think Norska has a lot of tools to punish vampire counts. And so we'll see how it goes. For vampire counts, we do have Vlad with double White King. It's just always funny seeing this meta back from Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1 land battles. But nonetheless, Vlad with 2 White Kings up against Wolfric the Wanderer and a Famir Belfiend of Shadows. For Vlad, we're going to have Master of Beguilement with Karstein Ring, Raise Dead, Vacation, and of course Blood Drinker. Not sure if the audio needs to be turned up a little bit. I think it does. Just in general. Okay, and then for the front line, we're gonna have a bunch of skeletons, Graveguard as well with the Congenstein Stalkers, Skeleton Warrior ROR, the Tithe Skeleton, or rather Zombie ROR. That's interesting. I'd never see those guys. We also have some more zombies in the back with the Mortis Engines. We're just going with a plain up healing blob, just an undead blob. Go on to 0.1, stay on there. We have the 2 White Kings. Do they have Scab Scribe? They do. They are mounted, I believe. Let me check. I mean, you can see with speed. Actually, this one's on foot. Is the other one mounted? No, both on foot. Same with Vlad. So double-footed White Kings with some Skeleton Warriors and Skeleton Spearmen on the right flank, with some Graveguard in the back. So they're going for like a general vampire counts blob, pretty much. That's what we have the Mortis Engine for, and you're just gonna out attrition the Norskins. With the Norskin side, we have Wolfric with Seafang. That's about it. Famir Belfing has Pit of Shades. We have Marauders up front with one with great weapons, some champions as well. Horsemen's, the hunters in the back line, just to deal with any large targets like Blood Knights, Black Knights, etc. We have Marauder champions, just a mix of Marauders and Marauder champions, and then some more horsemen as well. So straight ahead, we're going to have the Norskins go for point 3. They're going to be contesting with Vlad, his Vikings, and his skeletons. And Wolfric going over to point 2. And right ahead, oh, I didn't even notice, I forgot to mention that he had some hounds in the forest as well, direwolves. We also have the dire pack. Direwolf ROR has anti-large, can generally do okay into Ice Wolves, I believe, or Nurskin Warhounds. So I'm pretty sure they'll beat the brakes off the Warhounds. They'll take a little bit damage in return, obviously, because they have low armor, or just generally no armor, I believe. Yeah, 0 armor. Though, I mean, let's see the stat comparison. Yeah, generally the Norskin Warhounds will 100% lose. It just will. The dire pack will take some damage in return. It won't be a clean fight. We do have some Warhounds summoned in as well. And point 2 and point 3 are they're getting there. They're getting there. Number count's already on point 1. Points will unlock in 35 seconds. We have some more hounds summoned in as well, possibly just to chase down those horsemen, and so we have some more horsemen as well summoned. Unless this is from the second, yeah, this is from the second side. These weren't summoned in. We have some more champions as well summoned. So 3 hounds in the forest, just waiting idly by for any soft targets to pick. Both sides just waiting a little bit for points to unlock. So Norskin is already on, the Norskin side is already on point 3. They're already starting to take it. But eventually, slowly, vampire counts will reach there and start to take it back. Though I believe skeleton warriors do have, actually, I'm not. I think zombies just have lower cap weight. All 3 hounds are going in and trying to chase down those horsemen, but I would watch out. You do have some more. You do have some Norskin warhounds coming in from the forest, and to turn down that skeleton screeching that is very loud. There we go. Effects. Just turn it down completely, practically. Excuse me for that. But yeah, infantry engaged. We do have Marauder Hunters, Elysians and Volleys, but they're going to turn around and start shooting in at this direwolf blob here. And this is why you don't want to be blobby, and you don't want you only want 1 unit tied up on 1. You're just kind of wasting some utility there. These horsemen have been engaged with fell bats, so they're not going to be able to shoot. Though they will shoot in melee and shoot these fell bats, but it's stopping them from shoot those javelins into your infantry and other soft targets. Though you don't have many soft targets for the vampire count side right now to for those javelins to be used against. Hunters as well being engaged by the fell bats, both the javelins and the champions. The champions will eventually beat off those fell bats. Jesus, that sounded bad. Dire Pack have lost in an engagement with the Beast of Tashnar, who are just much better overall. They have Frenzy, which I think the Dire Wolves do not. And with the Marauders, great weapons aid as well. Norskins are pushing over to point 1. They will be able to take that eventually if Wolfric is able to get on top of that Mortis engine and stop those zombies from healing. Big Pit of Shades thrown down. I missed it, unfortunately, but I'm sure it was just on top of the Marauders or something. I'm not sure. Actually, that was from the Norskin side, so it was probably on maybe some... I don't know. I'm sure it was good nonetheless. We have the Beast of Tashnar flanking around. Might be able to get an engagement in the back or just stop anything else from coming over to point 3. The cap weight is starting to go in the favor of the vampire counts, though once the Marauders start to get on top of the point, it will be staying in the hands of the Norskins. Point 1 is also starting to go in the favor of the Norskins. You have more cap weight here with the champions, the Marauder great weapons. You have Wolfric as well, and then you're going to start to bring back some more Marauders as well. Yeah, it's generally, I think zombies are expendable and don't have as much cap weight. I think they have 2. over 3 of infantry. Somebody can correct me, probably Serkia. Point 3 is remaining, unfortunately, in the hands of the Norskin side. And it's just a big old blob fight over here. Maybe eventually Vlad and White King might be able to clear this up and take it, but I'm not sure. Point 1 is switching a little bit back and forth, but it is going back in the favor of the Norskins. Wolfric is getting on top of the Mortis engine, starting to beat it down. And eventually he will kill it. You might, if the Vampire Count player notices, they definitely want to scoot around. Wolfric, probably move him around. We have the Martyr Hunters shooting into those Cryptors, going to be taking those guys down pretty easily. They have anti-large of 15. So yeah, those Cryptors, yes, they just had a really rough time. White King is coming over here to try to help, but I don't think it's going to be going in the Vampire Count's favor anytime soon. Double capped by the Norskin side. It seemed like the Tithe were starting to take point 2, but they are now moving off the point. Hunters shooting in at these White King. Is this just zombie spawn right here? This big old Vampire Count blob. And that blob is actually punished by a big pit of shades, though it's not going to give you a whole lot of value. There's not much here in terms of value besides this one Graveguard unit. Though the main goal is just to clear up that point. We do have some Cryptors coming in to try to help out in this engagement, though I think you just need more bodies in general. If you had more Graveguard to bring over, and maybe start summoning in some more Direwolves, send these Dire Pack around, get on top of these Marauder Hunters. I don't think the Hunters will win that engagement. Yeah, just generally the Dire Pack are better, melee stat wise. Or just try to chase down these horsemen. We do have a Manticore summoned in as well. Not sure what the utility of the Manticore is. Probably just to chase down any... I don't know. I actually don't know. Probably fight with Vlad. I don't think he would enjoy that engagement though. Yeah, typically I would not bring a Manticore in this matchup. Unless there's a Mortis engine I need to get rid of. Wolfric is just grinding down point 1. With the help of his Marauders. Yeah, I think the Vampire Counts player made a mistake here and splitting in 2 ways. If you're going to go for a blob, you should just stick on one side because Vampire Counts are not known for their speed. And again, if you're blobbing, you generally want to stick together. So going for a split attack here was not the smartest choice, as Norskins will always beat you in speed. Direwolves chasing down these Norskin Warhounds. They should turn around, probably actually just disengage because they are now being chased down by the Ice Wolves and the Horsemen. Cryptors pushing past. However, point 3 is still remaining in the hands for the Norskin side. Just an overall 3-point cap for the Norskins, up to 850 points. It's going to be really hard for the Vampire Counts to come back from this. Because their points, I can't imagine they have a lot left to throw out there. We have the Sterns being brought in. Gonna be help whittle down these Marauders, though I don't think they really have the AP to deal with any Marauder champions. So those Marauder champions are quite beat up. Cryptors are just being firing squatted by these Hunters and by the Horsemen. They're just getting really beat up here. 1500 HP left. Just not where they want to be at the moment. And especially with the Skin Wolves armored coming in, they're, yeah, those Cryptors are going to be dead any moment now. Point 1 is no longer being really contested by the Vampire Counts aside from this White King. So, though I don't think that's the right call. At this point, I probably would have, I mean, long ago, I probably would have started to abandon point 3. But yeah, it's just going to go in the hands of the Norskins. There's not a whole lot the Vampire Counts players that could do there anymore. Yeah, shutting down those the range units was obviously very important for the Vampire Counts early on, but and though it was a good engagement, letting your Warhounds get caught out and blob up is obviously very detrimental for the Vampire Count side because you need those and you don't want them to, I mean, at the same time, dire wolves are not super expensive, so you can just bring them back very quickly. But you don't want to be wasting your supplies on dire wolves so soon after you just had them. But yeah, losing that mortis engine was obviously rough as well. Leaving it there unsupported without any units that could fight off Wolfric really sucked. White Kings did okay. Everything else did fine. I'm not sure about the Congenstein Stalkers. They don't have much of an application. I'm not even sure how they'll do against just general Marauders. I'm sure they'll beat the Marauders eventually, but I would just at that point just go with general skeletons just to save a little bit. Same with the Tithe as well. I don't think the Tithe are all that worth it. Sucks you didn't bring any of these blood. Wasn't able to bring these blood knights in. Swordsman unfortunately got caught in a bit too late. Yeah, the Crypt Wars just had a tough time with all that firing from the hunters and the horsemen, specifically the hunters, because that bonus was so large will add up very quickly. As you can see, 1,373 on these hunters and almost 800 on this one. They just racked up value very quickly if you're not able to stop them. Maybe if you had some Black Knights or maybe you got these Fellbats on top of them sooner and engaged with either Cav or some skeletons, you just have something to stop those guys from shooting. I mean, the Vampire Count player did do good with using those Fellbats to stop them from shooting, but you have to capitalize on that. If those Fellbats just died, then they kind of died for nothing. You stopped them for shooting for maybe 5-10 seconds, maybe 10-15 seconds at most. Fellbats die very quickly. But for the Norskin side, 631 on the Wolfric, 832 on the Famir Belfiend. Yeah, just the champions just had a really easy day. They just were beating down on Skeleton Chaff and Graveguard. Graveguard will lose that battle any day of the week. Marauders did okay as well. Yeah, the Hunters are just the MVP there, aside from the champions. Yeah, look at this. This is Marauder champions also got 1,343. They did incredible. And the Beast of Tassanar were just running down those dire wolves as well. Not sure what the Feral Manticore was beating down on, but maybe on the White King, because the White King aren't generally duelists, so they'll have a tough time with anything that isn't just an infantry unit. Yeah, well played by both players. Why do I feel like I recognize? Why do I feel like there used to be an R2K player or something that was a sandwich? I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. I feel like there was. I feel like there used to be a competitive player that used the name Sandwich. But the next map is gonna be, let's check it out. Next map is gonna be Graveyard of Outdorf. Yeah, it'll be Graveyard or Outdorf, and then if this goes to third game, say the Vampire Counts player wins this match, it'll go to Crystal Lake. I actually haven't seen Zarnagaran Rebellion, so hopefully it's good. A lot of these newer maps I haven't seen, but this is what I was talking about earlier. Like when I copy from Discord, it just does this. It's so hard to see, and I've tried to edit it through the admin website, but it still did it. So I'm gonna have to just erase it completely and rewrite all of it. Luckily, so far, no admin needing to be done, which is always a good sign. Ooh. You know what? I know how I'm thinking of. There's the sandwich, which I don't think they're active anymore. But let me check. Actually, they might be. I just haven't seen them in a while. Oh yeah, sandwich is active. I don't know if they actually still play, but they are active in the Discord still. So that's the player I was thinking of. We just have a lot of food related um community members. Gonna grab some water while these two pick their factions. I'll be right back, folks. Alright, I'm back. Wonder if it's taking a similar amount of time for other matches. I could imagine so. I wonder if maybe going back to pick two ban one. I think it's ban two pick one is a better option for best of threes, or just doing maybe a smaller version of 3x3 just to speed it up a little bit. Because at the same time, for new players, I also don't think 3x3s are great for newer players simply because they don't even know what entirely what factions they want to play yet. So having to pick three factions that they're not sure if they want to play, or two new factions that they're not sure want to play, and possibly getting stuck with said faction it would be pretty tough. Let me make sure they know that it's Graveyard of Altdorf. Stark 7640. Let me see. I'm actually not sure which player is Stark, unfortunately. I'm gonna message maybe Sandwich. Alright, I sent Sandwich a message. Hopefully they can relay it to their opponent, the host of the battle. This is why I missed the freaking in-game chat. Ah, come on, see. I don't think they're noticing, unfortunately. Actually, let me see what their name is on Total Tavern. I don't think anybody here even has the correct name on their Discord, the same as their Steam, so. Alright, sweet. Sandwich on my message. Alright, there we go. So my favorite maps, domination-wise. And the host were talking about how doesn't really get used anymore. So, of course, I'm gonna take the chance to bring it back. But it does look like we're seeing Zinch against High Elves. How do I put these two factions up against each other? I'd probably say Zinch over High Elves. And checking the total tavern stat page, we can see that High Elves are only a little bit ahead, 4-3 for the High Elves. So at least for this current season. If we go back a season, we might be able to see, let's see, Zinch up against High Elves. Yeah, Zinch had a much better time previous season, 10-4. So I would normally expect the Zinch side to do a little better. Obviously, it just depends on the players. But I'm already repping for Zinch here because they brought Village, and I freaking love Village. He is so Chad. Such a cool option to bring. I also CA, please give him Arcane Conduit. How does he not have Arcane Conduit yet? Why? I mean, sure, Arcane Conduit isn't like a huge deal to have, but at the same time, give it to him. Come on, he deserves it. This is actually the same first round, the second round of, or the second game of the best of three. We have Sandwich in ahead with 1-0. This is this. We'll see how this goes. If Stark is able to clutch out a win here, it'll go to third round, and we'll see from there. But for now, we do have Village the Curseling as the Lord for the Zinchian side with just Pink Fire. And of course his Twisted Twin ability, or Vessels of Chaos rather. And then Paragon of Change, granting that barrier regeneration of 0.8% whenever you're casting, which is fairly frequently when you have just Pink Fire. So we do have the Chaos Warrior front line with some Marauders with Spears. And some Chaos Knights, yes! Awesome, love to see some Chaos Knights. I mean, to be fair, they are one of the best units on their roster. They're just so freaking good. We have a Cultist as well with Burning Head. So, you know, doubly so. With Pink Fire and Burning Head spam, it'd be fairly easy to proc that 0.8% shield regen. Lothern Sea Guard and Spears on the left-hand flank for the High Elves, and vice versa. 3 Lothern Sea Guard with 2 Spears. Very interesting choice. And we have an Archmage of Life on her little eagle with Dwellers Below and Earthblood. Interesting build to see for the High Elves. We're also going to have some Illyrian Reavers summoned in. First unit for the High Elves. We're trying to get up ahead to that point first, though we do also have some Furies summoned in for Zinch. What does it look like here? So it might seem like the Zinchian player will be going for just all in on 0.1 for now and possibly take 0.2. We'll see. It seems like High Elves are going to be sticking to 0.3 and 0.1, though that might change. They might end up trying to take 0.2. We do have some more Furies summoned in as well in reserve. And some White Lions summoned for the High Elves. Getting that, they're going to need that armor piercing to chop through those Chaos Warriors, because the Lothern Sea Guard don't have a whole lot of armor piercing. They have, yeah, about 4. Not a whole lot, and as you can see, the Chaos Warriors do have silver shields plus 100 armor, so even with 3 Lothner Sea Guard, it's going to take quite a while to shoot down those Chaos Warriors. So you're going to need that armor piercing from those White Lions, and quite effective at it. The High Elf player does not know about the Chaos Knights sneaking around in these trees over here, so they're going to be in for a big surprise. We have some more Chaos Furies summoned in as well. Just a big Chaos Fury ambush going on over here. Yeah, no Arcane Conduit, Tommy. What the hell? We do have some Rangers summoned in. They can easily deal with any Marauders thrown at them, even just even Marauders with great weapons as well. Though great weapons, I think. Let me see how much ammo or how much armor that Rangers have. Yeah, they actually have 30, so the great weapons won't do anything, or actually will be wasted on fighting Rangers. But yeah, the Rangers will beat any Marauders thrown at them, which is most likely what they will throw at them. Oh, we do actually have some Zangors. I'm not sure how the Zangors fare up against Rangers. But I do know these Chaos Warriors will get crumped by the White Lions if the Siege player is paying attention. White Lions are hiding in the trees, though, just to ambush as soon as possible. We do have those Chaos Knights coming in on the flank. One's going to collapse in, start fighting those Illyrian Reavers. You need to send those around instead of bunching them up on just one Illyrian Reaver. It could be really, really punishing. We have a burning head possibly drop. Oh, doubly so. A pink fire and burning head thrown on top of the. Wow, that burning head is tough. It's gonna burn through 2 of those Lothner Sea Guard. Just narrowly passed by the Spearmen, luckily. But yeah, that was really, really tough. Those Chaos Knights, seriously, they need to bring them out, and it's just getting punished badly by that Dwellers Below. Luckily for the Zechian side, that wasn't an overcasted Dwellers Below. Otherwise, that could have seriously wrecked them. But that's still not great. Again, I'm not sure how those Zangors will trade into the Rangers. Possibly the Zangors will end up winning. Who knows? We'll see. We do have some Illyrian Raiders here engaged with these Chaos Warriors. The Chaos Warriors are also being attacked by the Lothner Sea Guard. You need to pull this Lothner Sea Guard out so they can start shooting into the flanks of those Chaos Warriors. We do have another pink fire thrown on top of those Spearmen and the Lothner Sea Guard. Lothner Sea Guard probably going to rout there. Yep. Again, the player, I don't know what's going on here. They're just not noticing, but bring those Chaos Knights out of the Spearmen and send them around the flank. You're missing out on a lot of very potential devastating hammer and anvil situation there. The High Elf player sending their Archmage in there, which is a bit questionable. I mean, she's not a great duelist. Yeah, and she's just going to start evacuating out of there. Chaos Warriors beating down those Lothner Sea Guard. These Lothner Sea Guard have routed. Plenty of ammunition left, so they need to be brought in. Rangers, actually, we're starting to lose that Zangor fight, but we do have the White Lions coming in as the Rangers try to run away. Point 2 in the hands of Sandwich, same with point 3 as well, while point 1 is in the hands of Zinch. We do have another Burning Head on top of the Sea Guard, and it's going to get into the Spearmen as well. Nice! Actually, these are Silver and Guard. Wow, I didn't even notice those. Yeah, luckily Burning Head won't do a whole lot to Silver Guard. They do have 75 armor. That will provide that leadership debuff of Burnt. What do we have? A Bolt of Change on top of the Archmage. Going to do a little damage. Village might come over here and start beating that Archmage's butt. And I think he will. He's not a bad duelist. He's not too shabby. Not a lot of armor piercing, but she doesn't have a lot of armor in the first place, 30. So he will kick her butt if a High Elf player doesn't notice. This could be very bad for the High Elf. We do have some Dragon Princes summoned in who got to charge into these Chaos Warriors. These Chaos Warriors will slowly lose, but the Dragon Princes are just mostly a shock cav. So I would personally just charge down these Chaos Warriors just to hold them back momentarily for the Lothner Sea Guard to shoot in. Though this isn't really a great target, I'll probably turn them around and maybe shoot at these Chaos Knights and Chaos Furies. Yeah, the Dragon Princes mainly being used to hold back, which is good. A smart play by the High Elf player, just keeping those Chaos Warriors back. Those White Lions were able to beat both the Zangors and the Forsaken. You're going to see how good the White Lions are there. I mean, 40 melee defense, 38 melee attack with martial prowess, beating down both of those guys. And I mean, to be fair, none of them had the armor piercing to go through that 90 armor of the White Lions. So Another burning head dropped on top of these Lothern Sea Guard and Illyrian Reavers, even getting into the... No, they actually didn't get into the Silver Guard. We do have some Sisters of Avalorn summoned in. Nice! That AP is going to be perfect for whittling down those Chaos Warriors. Though I'd probably prefer shooting into the flank of those Chaos Warriors right here, so they don't get their silver shields, which these are over here. And also the Tzeentchian player needs to bring one of those Chaos Warriors out, 2-on-1 infantry unit, just kind of wasted there. Bring them out, send these Chaos Warriors over to the Lothern Sea Guard. The Archmage took quite a bit of damage there, but they do have an Earthblood, so what they need to do is just get over here on top of the... Actually, where the Dragon Princes at? Yeah, get them next to the Dragon Princes. Where the heck are they at? Right here. Get them to the Dragon Princes, throw an Earthblood on both of them. An Overcasted one. What is this? A Earthblood? Now that I'm saying that. Yeah, an Earthblood. Missed opportunity to get your Archmage in there, but at the same time, it's not a huge deal. Just keep her out of combat for now. Other Sea Guard, just firing squad right here, shooting into those Forsaken. Forsaken are having a really tough time, but they might end up winning that engagement thanks to the White Lions only having 40 models and practically a quarter of their HP. Though we do have some Rangers here keeping that .2 on lockdown. Once the Tzeentchian player starts to get settled in, they need to start sending in people over to .2 to capture that, because these Zangors are not going to be enough, and neither are these Forsaken. And you really need that .2, otherwise the High Elf player is really going to start taking the lead here. I mean, they already have 600 points. You really need to get on top of that. And with such a obvious win over here for your side, you should definitely start sending stuff over to .2, which they have. They started sending over some Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights are going to get a charge into the White Lions, finish them off. We'll get onto those Rangers and massacre the Rangers eventually once the Tzeentchian player sends that command in. And we're going to have the Zangors come over. And yeah, .2 is going to start going in the hands of the Tzeentchian side. We do have some White Lions summoned in as well. We do have some another one as well. And the Chaos Fury is actually getting on top of the Sisters of Avalon, which is not great. Obviously, it gets them to stop shooting into their valuable targets, but Chaos Furies really rely on that physical resistance, and Sisters of Avalon shoot in melee. So yeah, we're going to have another one thrown in and just thrown into the sawmill there, just butchered. A lot of the Sea Guard they're kind of wasting their ammo on the cultists. I would probably start shooting in at this Chaos Warrior or something. Or just unsummon the Lothern Sea Guard and bring in some more infantry. .2 finally goes in the hands of the Tzeentchian side. Now we're going to start racking up those points, but the High Elves will be in the lead for quite a bit. It's going to take a while for those points to rack up. We do have the Changebringers summoned in. Can we see that volley in? Yes, that devastating. Oh my god, those poor White Lions. Wow. That really sucks. If the High Elf player doesn't notice, and they seem to not be, yeah, those White Lions are just going to get massacred. Turn those freaking sisters around and shoot those Changebringers. Please. Oh my god, those poor White Lions. Yeah, they're going to start to notice, but hopefully the Tzeentchian player notices and brings them back, because yeah, they're getting decimated by the Sister of Avalon fire. Please. Oh no, we're going to have a little bit of a volley here on the Sisters of Avalon, but yeah, this is a bad misplay on the Tzeentchian side if they don't notice, or rather, if they don't start bringing them back. Though the Sisters of Avalon did get kind of wrecked there. I say that, and they got kind of wrecked. These Changebringers did take some unnecessary losses, losing a few models and taking some HP damage, but I mean, the Sisters of Avalon are gone, so worth it. We're up to 445, almost 500 points here for the Tzeentchian side, and almost 850 for the High Elves. So it's very much possible for the High Elves to clutch out a win. I mean, you don't have a lot here on .2. And again, with the blobbing from Tzeentch, I don't know why they keep doing this. I mean, again, it's just probably just noob mistakes, obviously. But we'd have some Marauders coming in, hopefully. And though the High Elves are just going to outnumber them. So eventually, I believe .2 might go back in the High Elves' flavor. Though we do have some more Forsaken summoned in as well. Changebringers being screened out by these Sisters of Avalon who have come back. What's the value looking like on the Changebringers? 1,000 value, not bad. I mean, they haven't paid for themselves, though they probably will start paying for themselves soon once they start punishing this blob of white lions. My god. The sisters are getting some more volleys in, and there goes another model or two, which is not great. Again, yeah, those chain breakers are just finished. They might get a volley off, another volley off into those white lions, but they're done. Yeah, that volley is just going to kill them. We're going to have these Illyrian Reavers charge in, try to get into the top of point 1, though we do have the cultists stopping them. Not like they could have done much. Point 1 is going to remain in the hands of Tzeentch. Some Forsaken and some Zangors and just general infantry here trying to get unsummoned. Though the high elf player can stop you from unsummoning if they just shoot at them. So whenever you're trying to unsummon units, try to take them out of the infantry, or try to take them out of your enemy's line of sight. Luckily, Sandwich didn't shoot at them, but nonetheless. Forsaken are gonna start tearing apart these Illyrian Reavers, and point 2 is gonna remain in the hands of Tzeentch, which is a little bit of a surprise. I thought the high elf player would try to capitalize on it, but they unfortunately haven't. We do have some white lions summoned in, which will beat down some of the infantry that we have here in point 2 for Tzeentch. But I think you need a little bit more than that, especially with these Furies being summoned in. On some of these Chaos Knights to get a little bit of points back, and we do have some more Chaos Warriors because the High Elves are starting to see a bit of a resurgent here. We do have some White Lions coming back and some Lothern Sea Guard. Not sure what the Cultist is doing here, but Village is retreating back to point 1 as the Silver Guard are starting to take it. And yeah, we're going to need some more Chaos Warriors, which the Tzeentchian player has summoned in, though I probably would send in some Marauders as well because they're a little bit faster to get to that point, and you're going to need to get some bodies on that point as soon as possible. We do have some infantry off the point at the moment, engaged with the High Elf infantry, so it is very much possible for the High Elf player to still point 2 while the Tzeentchian player isn't noticing. Though we do have some Chaos Furies getting on top of the Lothern Sea Guard, routing one and probably going to route the other one. Though we do have 2 more on this side, so still shooting in. Though it is a pretty big blob of Chaos Furies, so it'll take a little bit of time before those Lothern Sea Guard completely finish them off again. They rely on that physical resistance of 20%, so going to be mitigating a lot of that missile fire. And they only have 18 missile strength, so it's not a whole lot to begin with. But yeah, High Elves is starting to take that point back, as each player has got to watch out, start to clean up their mess in the back line. We do have some Zangors summoned in as well. That's the thing as well. You can summon in some Zangors, start getting to that point faster, because yeah, I probably would have summoned in some Zangors faster than the Chaos Warriors, though maybe they only have 1 in reserve. I'm not sure. Village is unfortunately retreating down to 1800 HP. Just getting beat down by these White Lions. Point 1 going back in the hands of the High Elves, and point 2 even starting to go back in the High Elves. That's, oh no, that could be really bad. Stark was getting close to starting to catch up, but unfortunately Sandwich is starting to whittle this back in their favor. And I mean, it is possible for point 1 to start going back to Tzeentch's side, but you're not going to have much to take point 2 back. You need to unsummon some of these units, clean them up, and start summoning throwing bodies at point 2 as soon as possible. And stop letting your units get blobbed like this, because this is exactly what the High Elf player is trying to do. He's trying to stop you from getting infantry units onto the point. And this could possibly afford you the game here. This possibly cause you to lose this game. I mean, obviously the Chaos Warriors are getting onto the point a little bit, causing them to win. But if the High Elf player just moves the Sisters of Avalorn and the ranged units on, they'll take the point back. It just really requires both players to seek to point their attention this way a little bit. I mean, the cav are not going to be enough. So yeah, it's just unfortunate that the High Elf player didn't notice that they could have brought in these range units to take that cap point back, but it matters nonetheless because they have the other 2 points, and this is going to probably go in the hands of the High Elves. There's not much the Tzeentchian player can do here. We do have some more Forsaken summoned in, but yeah, I think that is going to probably seal the deal here. Look at this conga line that CA has granted us with our infantry units. What is happening here? Yeah, if these white lions engage with these Forsaken, those Forsaken are not gonna have not gonna have an easy day. We do have a third tier army ability from Siege, which is nice, but unfortunately we will not win the game, though we will do a tremendous amounts of damage to these Rangers and the white lions. Oh, it isn't doing more damage yet? Well, I thought Overcasted Dwellers did, like, was it a longer duration, maybe? Oh, I guess I remembered incorrectly. But yeah, I mean, guess there is that Dwellers Below change coming in where what changes it to an bombardment ability. That's going to be great. Yeah, love that for us. Thanks, CA. Unfortunate, yeah. I was hoping to see that Zinshin win there. It was going well for a moment there, but they just weren't able to capitalize, and they just were too slow to start taking point two. And once they started to let point two go back in the hands of High Elves, it was pretty much over because they just didn't have enough to stop. They weren't able to rack enough points up. So close game, yeah, close game, and well fought by Stark, but unfortunately it will go in the hands of the High Elves, 2-0. But well fought by Stark, and I mean well played by both players, but well fought by Stark, and really cool seeing Village being brought in. Chaos Warriors did great, obviously. Chaos Knights did good, though again too much blobbing. 1844 on the cultists. I mean, yeah, there's pink fires and from Village, and then double so with the burning head as well. That was fantastic. Yeah, just maybe a little more Zangors probably, or just more Marauders just to get to the points faster. I do know the Forsaken were there, but it's a tough call. I just don't think Forsaken are generally usually worth it because most of the time in this matchup, High Elves are going to be bringing White Lions and Silver Guard. Though they did bring some Rangers, and obviously the Forsaken are going to trade much better into Rangers than vice versa. But I don't know. I probably wouldn't bring three of them. I'd probably do maybe one at most, and just bring another Zangor and something else. But I mean, the Changebringers also did good. It's just again a little bit of sloppy micro from both players, specifically the Zinch side, letting the Sisters of Avalon just take them apart. But High Elf player, let's see. Everything else did okay. It's interesting seeing a lot of their Sea Guard box. I haven't seen that since Land Battles. White Lions did fine. I mean, Sister Avalon did 2,000 value there. Yeah, just I'm pretty sure the Changebringer is like 13 to 1,400. So that was a pretty big amount of value there from them. And of course, the Dragon Princess did great as well. Just a fantastic unit overall. But yeah, that was a really close match, and it goes to Sandwich. Let us check out the bracket. Let's see how everybody's doing. See if anybody's reported their matches yet. It seems not like nobody's reported their matches yet, but that's to be expected. Again, Noob tournaments take a while, and especially when you're doing a best of 3 and 3x3 matrix. So yeah, let me check out so Lore of Life. I for some reason thought Dweller's Blow was it did more damage, but it's just a greater effect on speed. Okay. Huh. I mean, I guess this makes sense. I never see Overcasted Dwellers. I don't know if the new change to Dwellers, I'm assuming does change it over to make the Overcast do more damage. And meanwhile, let's see. If I were to go into that battle with Zinch, obviously I'm gonna bring Village because he's awesome. I'm just gonna keep him that way. Keep Vessel of Chaos, probably Pink Fire. And don't think I'd keep Twisted Twin. Probably just Paragon of Change and Paragon of Change. And probably the same thing, a lot of Chaos Warriors. And I don't think Pink Horrors. Yeah, I'll probably bring some Blue Horrors rather, because they're just so much cheaper and can do the job very quickly. It'll just take more of them as opposed to just like it'll take 2 blues as opposed to 1 pink to do a job. Probably I don't think I'd bring Spearman. Probably just some general Marauders for that silver shield or that bronze shield rather. And trying to think here what to expect from a high elf side. I don't think the Chaos Knights were a bad idea at all. I think they were pretty good. If you still wanted to go for them, I'd probably go for maybe 1 and bring some more infantry, but obviously it just depends on what kind of play you're up against. You could even go for the Senegors, but Senegors will probably trade pretty badly into, say, Illyrian Reavers or even just Silver Helms. So if you want to go Cav, probably just Chaos Knights are the best bet. For Vanguard, however, Chaos Furies and Shrieking Sky Race. I don't really think the Cockatrice, unfortunately, is all that great anymore. With its change to its ability. Let's see what it's called. It's called the Petrifying Gaze. Yeah, it's just not that great anymore. It's a single target, 1 use, and it goes from speed reduction to cannot moving for immobile for like 8 seconds. It's not that great. But I mean, Centaurs couldn't be terrible up to like to get like a charge in on Dragon Princes. But that's only if you get the charge, and they don't. So maybe I'll just keep 1. I don't think the Chainbringers were bad there. Yeah, 1500. They're just very, very expensive and can be punished very quickly. So again, probably some more blues. Even you could possibly bring the Saurga or the Chromatic Aberrations. Those are okay as well. Again, though, some more Chaos Warriors and Zangors. I'd even probably possibly cut the Furies. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the Senegors. Get some more Zangors. Or bring some more Furies and just maybe some more Marauders. Something like that. Couldn't be bad. Though again, you will need to punish some of that Cav for the high elf side, so I mean that's what a lot of the screamers are there for, but let me see some more Chaos Warriors probably for the front line, because you're typically not gonna want to bring them in your reinforcing, simply because they take too long to get to a point. So probably throw one in max. I'm not super experienced at this matchup because I've played a whole lot of Zinch, but hell, even some halberds could also be great as well. Or bring some more blues, or maybe a pink. Yeah. Could even cut down on the just bring a spear instead. Phone room named essay. How much delays in the live stream? I'm actually not sure how much delay YouTube gives. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure. I don't see one named essay there. Also, let me check to see the last box when reporting. So I can't recall what the scoring boxes will look like in this type of matchup. Let me see. Let me check out the. Okay, they got it. I can't remember what scoring was like for best of threes, so I can't remember if you can. I think you could, yeah, you should be able to pick each faction for each match. So, but either way, Sandwich figured it out. So we just have 3 more matches left, waiting to be reported. Sandwich and Mighty Peaches are going to be starting their match. As you see, we have Sandwich advanced, and we'll be fighting against Mighty Peaches. We're still waiting on Bongo and Salt Ripper. Vincentu, I'm not sure, Vincentu, beat them 2-0, beat Waterbeds 2-0, and we'll be waiting for the result of Peaches and Sandwich. Poor Goose is unfortunately still waiting for this match up top. If all else fails, I would probably have to watch Sandwich's match again, just to fill the downtime. Yeah, I might just do that, just because the downtime can be pretty rough. So. So it'll be my first time seeing our Nagaran Rebellion. I'm always a fan of some Chaos Dwarf themed maps. I'd say we probably need like 10 or 12 more, but you know, it's up to the map makers. I'm not gonna try to persuade anybody, but you know, it'd be cool. Oh yeah, let me replace the finals map. Let me see real quick. Edit tournament. Put Crater of Decay in. I think I've already done that, but no, I haven't. So let me change that real quick. Crater in. Fresh spawn tournament. I do Crater Decay first. Actually, I already have Borderloo Landing in the previous rounds. I'm probably just swap that one out for maybe a Ragnarok layer. That could be okay. If not, then what else? Let me see. I haven't tried any of these maps. There's so many of them. I'm not sure if Creeping Swamp is good, but I'll do it. Or rather, not good, but sure. I'm not sure how competitive it is, but I'll use it. There we go. Final maps thrown in. I don't know if people have watched Turn stream today, but I gotta say, some of these new DLC units are just abhorrent. I mean, people who don't like dwarves are gonna hate them even more. I just gotta say, the Norgal stuff isn't even that bad. I mean, the Toe Dragon seemed kind of meh, kind of crap, borderline crap, because if you're comparing it to something like the Jabberslife, another anti-infantry monster, the Jabberslife is just a million times better. The Toe Dragon has some cool animations, but they're not really competitive. Those animations look really cool and flashy and fun, but are very detrimental to its performance. So, and which sucks because I was really hoping for the Toe Dragon to be really good. It's one of my most anticipated units in that DLC. And then, I mean, we have the Rot Knights, which perform okay from what I saw. What else did Nurgle get? I mean, Pestigors are good. A Vanguard option for Nurgle that isn't like slow as crap. Awesome. And there aren't Nurglings. And we'll get run over by one Illyrian Reaver and just die immediately. Yeah, fantastic. I'm pretty sure they have AP from those axes. What else? Zark, Tamarkan looks fantastic. Apparently, from what Turin said, he's much better on foot and not on Toad Dragon. So the RORs seemed eh. They didn't really seem anything worth mentioning. I'm trying to remember what else Nurgle got. I don't think a whole lot. I mean, you got the new hero and the new lord. We actually got two new lords. You got the Chaos Lord, which seems cool. And that was it. What else? Trying to think of any infantry or ranged units. Oh, you got the Bile Trolls, which seem kind of meh. I mean, the fact that they missed out on the opportunity to give it the Bile Troll Vomit, like in Vermintide, is just so incredibly lame. Like, Throg has the animation. I mean, the troll heroes, like the... Or rather, troll heroes, as if there's more than one. The Troll Hag from the Corinthians also had the Vomit animation. You could have just given it to the Bile Trolls. You could also made it unique and just not made it just multiple units of just a generic troll unit colored it green and given it a debuff. You could have made it a single Bile Troll, given it that Bile Vomit animation, and made it just an anti-infantry fighter or just a generalist. But instead, they went for troll, but stinky and has debuff. Like, wow, awesome. It also didn't even have to be a generalist unit. It could have been a range option, just like a Soul Grinder. It could have just sat back and vomited on everything. I mean, logistically, that doesn't sound very fun for the Bile Troll. It's just sitting there vomiting on things from afar, projectile vomiting things from afar, but still much cooler than it just being another anti-large beater or something and giving you another option besides just the Soul Grinder, which everybody picks for the normal roster. But one of the, I think, tough things for the Toad Dragon is it has no passive healing, so you have to heal it yourself. It means you're not able to use that healing on other things, like say your Rot Knights or Chaos Knights or whatever other important vibe units. You're having to spend a lot of healing into a much worse Jabber Slicer Dreadstorian. It's just, yeah. Let me check out the delay, see what the delay is like for YouTube. I don't know what it's, I don't know if you can even change that. Oh, you can change it in YouTube Studio. Let me check. Let me see if I can change that real quick. Because I'm not a huge fan of latency. It doesn't really matter. Or rather, I'm not a huge fan of latency. What a blanket statement. I'm not a huge fan of chat delay. So let me check that real quick. How I maneuver YouTube is another thing. Let me see. Poof. This is a tough one. Your channel. Seriously, YouTube Studio. Is this where it is? Why is YouTube so terrible? Manage. Stream settings. There we go. I don't see anything about. Okay, I see. There's normal latency, low latency, and ultra low latency. No, yeah, it's in YouTube. Yeah, you can see it here in the. Let me show you real quick, because I know Circia, you stream on YouTube as well, right? So just for future reference, you can see it. Yeah, so right here on the stream, you can edit it, whatever, and down here, stream latency. There's no normal, low, and ultra low latency. I don't think I can change it, unfortunately, while I'm streaming, but it's just good to know for next time. Also, I see now why it kept giving me that warning is because the new encoder whatever I'm using has a really low bit rate, so I just need to change it up to 6800, or just fix this next time for next time. So yeah, I mean, if you guys aren't complaining about the bit rate, I'm surprised because 2400 is extremely low. So theoretically, the stream should look very bad in battle. Angeline into Tyrion would pretty good. Yeah. Or techless. Useless techless. So assuming, considering how long these two people have been on these two factions, it's gonna seem. I'm gonna say it's safe to assume that they're going Tomb Kings and High Elves. Okay, so do you have finally Salt Ripper and Harrison have played their match? It went 2-1 for Harrison, and Harrison has advanced, waiting for what is going on with the Bongo and the Ashcalf match. Is it just? I'm guessing it's a very close game because they have been fighting for a while now. Also, the chat delay as well in OBS is pretty rough. Like I'm seeing a message in OBS chat so much later than I would be if I just checked the YouTube Studio on the browser. Oh, stream latency and YouTube settings is just ping, not a set delay of 2 minutes or whatever you have now. Huh. Okay. And you said there's possibly a way to change it in OBS then? Because I know you can, in at least on Twitch, it's a site managed setting rather than a program setting. I'm not necessarily words hard. I'm not necessarily. Ah, okay, stream delay. There's not one enabled on OBS. I see the option, but I don't have it enabled. So I'm not sure what is up. Is it like a huge delay from what you guys can tell? I mean, I guess you guys can't tell, so. I guess I have to check it myself. Let me just see. Oh yeah, that is a pretty big delay. I mean, wow. I don't even know how do you change that. Yeah, because again, there's no latency in yeah, it says I'm looking at the YouTube settings and it says or at least the YouTube descriptions and it says ultra low latency is for highly interactive live streams with real time engagement. Most viewers of an ultra low latency stream will experience a latency less than 5 seconds. Well, normal latency is, it doesn't say how long. Um, it just says that it has the highest quality setting for viewers and it has the lowest amount of viewer buffering. While low latency has a latency of 10 seconds with the stream and audience. So, oh, Mighty Peaches is now in Norska. So I don't know sure what happened here, but I should check on one of our matches, however, because that poor person has been waiting for so long. Poetic Goose. Sorry, Poetic Goose. I know you're in the chat, or I don't know if you still are, but I feel bad for you. Sorry about that. I'll check in on your opponents. I saw them I saw their lobby up whenever I was checking the multiplayer lobbies, and it seemed like a match in progress. So, but I mean, yeah, it's already oof, uh, been quite a bit to say the least. I sent one of them a message, so hopefully they'll get back to me. But they might be in round, so. Anyways, another high elf game for Sandwich. Peaches, however, is playing Norska. Let's see how this goes. Wolfric the Wanderer brought again. This is the second time we're going to be seeing Wolfric for the stream, along with a shaman. I'm not sure what lore, but it seems like Marauder champion front line with Marauders. Some hunters in the back as well to be shooting at any Illyrian Reavers, Cav, etc., other Cav, etc. Plus, the Archmage could also be a good target too, though they have generally low-ish range at 90. I say low-ish because I'm comparing them to other range units. Norska doesn't have a lot of high-range units, unfortunately. But, I mean, that is Norska, so. Shaman, Sorcerer with Spirit Leech and Soul Blight. You're going to be using that Spirit Leech just to whittle down that Lord, or you can even use it as a budget Fate of Buna, throwing it on top of Cav units like Dragon Princes and whatnot, so. But, yeah, frontline, mostly Marauder champions. They do have the Icehorn Marauders. I never see these guys, frankly, because, I mean, they're literally just, they get ITP. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Perfect Vigor and ITP can be pretty good for Norska because your Marauders typically just run away at the sight of anything. Anything terrifying, remotely terrifying. But yeah, Wolfric has this whole kit: Sword of Torgald, plus Hunter of Champions and Seafang. For High Elves, we have the Archmage of Life again with Dwellers Below and Earthblood, just to top off any of your expensive units. We have Rangers, a weird formation here. What is this front? What is this line? Lothern Sea Guard going over to point 1. We do have some more Lothern Sea Guard up front. Sandwich really loves their Lothern Sea Guard. Rangers, yeah, just the Rangers in total. We have some Lyran Reavers summoned in as well. It's just a very like land battle-esque setup we got here for High Elves, rather for Sandwich that they like to use. Wow, this map is not what I was expecting, I gotta say. I mean, it looks cool background-wise. Just I kind of expected there to be, I don't know. It's just kind of a flat plains map, so. Points are very off to the side. But where am I? Am I missing the other? Oh, what? Oh wow, I did not see point 3. I was like, where the heck is point 3 at? Hello. But yeah, it seems like Norska hopefully is going to be sticking to point 3 and point 2, though actually might not be the best idea because point 2 is pretty well fortified by the high elf side. We do have some marauders with great weapons and a Ferromantic Horde summoned in. Probably just chase down the Archmage or just stop those Illyrian Reavers from getting into your back line. Because the Manticore is very useful for that. We're just have the Lothern Sea Guard just shooting in. Luckily, the Bronze Shields will be mitigating some of that damage. I mean, it's 35%, so won't be mitigating a whole lot, but you're mostly just shooting their shots into Marauders. All right, because these are champions, so you'd much rather have that volley of fire being shot at champions. I mean, base Marauders. The champions are luckily mitigating some of that damage with their armor. We do have some White Lions and Sisters of Avalon summoned in to start dealing with those Marauders champions who have that higher armor. Illyrian Reavers coming over, probably going to get on top of those Hunters who have got a nice volley into those Illyrian Reavers. Wow, that's a pretty good chunk of damage there. Spirit Leech dropped on the Archmage. Then those Illyrian Reavers are going to get on top of those Marauder Hunters. I wish I would stop saying a unit's full name. It just takes too long. The Manticore is going to come in here, try to chase down that Archmage. Going to do a bit of damage. High elf player hopefully will notice. A Sea Fang dropped on the Lothern Sea Guard. Going to do a bit of damage. Though I probably would have dropped it right here to hit the Rangers as well. It's not a big deal though. Marauder champions going in that conga line, going to get on top of those Lothern Sea Guard. These Hunters are still being tied up by the Illyrian Reavers, but we do have the Marauders coming over to assist. Getting those Hunters out so they can start shooting again would be great. Manticore put a bit of a beating on that Archmage, but in return they are now rampaged due to that volley from the Sisters, which is not great. They're going to be rampaging into the Rangers and just taking a buttload of damage from those Sisters. So, I say a buttload, but look at that volley. That didn't do crap to them. Wow. We're going to have some Horsemen with Throwing Axes summoned in. Illyrian Reavers are finally leaving the battlefield. Icewind Marauders are trading somewhat evenly with the Lothern Sea Guard. Hunters throwing in their volleys into the Rangers. Got to fix this formation here. That line formation is not great here. Especially when you're being shot at by Lothern Sea Guard. Yeah, just pull them back and send those Marauder champions in. The Marauder champions will dumpster Rangers. And you'll also be getting those Marauder champions on the point. You need to slip through and get through this little crack here to get on that point so you can start capturing, start getting some weight on that point. Sisters of Avalon kind of shooting in that Wolfric, though it's kind of a waste there. I mean, he does have that silver shield. And he's just a really, really small target. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but you have better targets like the Manticore and maybe the champions. We have some Marauders coming over, but if the high elf player notices, they can get a charge in on that great weapon. Spirit Leech dropped on those White Lions. We do have a Dwellers dropped on these Marauders with great weapons. Not going to do a whole lot of damage. I mean, it does do a decent amount of damage, but not a whole lot of value is what I meant to say. Spiritly, or rather, it's Soul Blight on top of these White Lions, bringing it down to 60 armor and low weapon strength. Though it's not. I mean, it might have helped that battle a little bit, but those champions will still lose, I think, eventually. Maybe that Enrage will, that Rage will win them that fight. I'm not entirely sure. Wolfric is here, though. He's going to help. And if the Sisters are going to keep shooting at him, they will do friendly fire into the back of those White Lions, which is obviously not fantastic. And they are being attacked in the flank by Wolfric, so we do have some Norskin Ice Wolf summoned in who are getting shot right now by the Lothern Sea Guard. If you can get them around, maybe I'm not actually sure. Probably just get them around over here, start hitting these Lothern Sea Guard or something. They are large targets, so the Lothern Sea Guard will benefit from fighting them in melee. Great weapons fighting the Rangers. Rangers will enjoy that battle. That is what they are there for. These Marauder champions need to separate, get on top of these Lothern Sea Guard, and send in these great weapons to around this way, because there's just too much blobbed here. We do have some Norskin Ice Trolls summoned in as well. Sisters of Avalon, what are they shooting at right now? Shooting at them Rogers with great weapons. They'll, yeah, no, they'll slowly kill them. Some of the AP shots are being wasted a little bit. Spirit Leech overcasted. Don't really need to overcast it. Where's the caster at? Yeah, if you're that close, you don't need to be overcasting. It doesn't do more damage. All it does is extend the range. So you're just kind of wasting winds of magic there. But I understand, just in case, on the off chance that the Archmage runs away. Throwing Nexus coming in here, start throwing some volleys into the Archmage. Oh, and then we're going to have a Hunter of Champions, reducing that speed down to 50. That Archmage is not going to get away if the player doesn't notice. Yeah, those Horsemen have 90 speed. They're going to catch up really quickly, and that, if those Lothar Seaguard don't start shooting at those throwing axes, I think that might kill the Archmage. We'll see. 800 HP. You have some War Lions. Awesome. Silver Chevron. What? I'm not sure if they got summoned in earlier and I just didn't notice and they picked up the Silver Chevrons, or if the High Elf player is just crazy. But yeah, the Archmage is dead. Spirit Leech are on top of her, and she is not coming back from that. So the High Elves are going to get that leadership penalty. Oh, wait. 97 HP? Oh, God. Come on. Can we get that final volley in and kill that Archmage? That leadership penalty would help a lot. And not only that, I think it affects the respawn timer as well. But we do have the Beast of Tashnar summoned in, along with some Skin Wolves. Could help get on top of those Elena Reavers. Wow, I think that Archmage actually might get away. Elena Reaver's just running over these Marauders and trying to chase down these Marauder Horsemen. Though, if the Norskin player notices, which assumably they will, they can probably try to screen them out with the great weapons. Obviously, the great ones will not like that, but it's better than getting your throwing axes taken out or engaged by those Elena Reavers. Norskin Ice Trolls are being lit up by the Sisters of Avalon and Lothar Seaguard. That fire damage from the Sisters is terrible for the Norskin Ice Trolls because they have that fire weakness of 20% from their regeneration. So, luckily, they didn't rout. And in fact, they are actually, I say that and they immediately rout. 0.2 in the hands, 0.2 and 0.3 in the hands of the Norskin side, 493 to 594. High Elves have a little bit of a lead there, but if the Norskins can get a fortification set up on 0.2, start gathering their forces and hold it down, they might be able to catch up, and or they will catch up. It'll just, they might be able to solidify and start and make sure that they stay in a good position to catch up. The Reavers are being routed off by those Skin Wolves. They're going to do fantastic there with that bonus versus large. They don't have a lot of AP, but I mean 22 AP I think I saw is not too shabby, but they only have 40 armor anyways. So anyways, Norskin Ice Trolls are starting to heal up, which is great. Good by the Norskin player, keeping them out of the line of fire. We're going to need some bodies coming up from the High Elf side. Start unsummoning a lot of these routing units like the White Lions and start bringing in some other bodies. These Rangers are really beat up. No point in even sending them into the point anymore. They only have 27 models, 800 HP. The White Lions have been doing fantastic apparently. I haven't noticed, but they've got 117 kills plus 580 value. The White Lions are coming over here, but they're going to take some Hunter volleys. They do have missile resistance of 30%, so it's going to mitigate a lot of that. And yeah, those Hunters are not going to like that. Boom, they're gone. Routing. And we do have some Ice Wolves coming over to help out. They will, if they 2-on-1 those White Lions, they will win that. Though I think, are they Ice Wolves infantry size? No, they're large size, right? So that infantry, bonus versus infantry from the White Lions will not matter here at all. 0.2, the High Elves have started to take it, but with the help, with the numbers here from the Norskin side, they will eventually win that and make sure that High Elves doesn't get any more capture points. 0.1 is also in the hands of the Norskin side, so we have a 3-point cap here for the Norskins. Plenty of breathing room for the High Elves. They just have to solidify their forces. Maybe go all in on 1 point, say like 0.2 or 0.1. and then from there take another point. Point two could be a good one. Just run into point two and then take point one. Though with Wolfric here, if that might be a bit hard. And I'm not sure what the supplies are like for High Elves, but the Norskins have a decent chunk of supplies as well, plus some more infantry coming in with these skin wolves in the back, which can be brought in, and these throwing axes. Pretty decent match so far. We do have, I didn't even notice, we have the Fireborn coming in here. Yeah, they are gonna take those Norskin Ice Trolls to Bound Town with that fire damage. Though we do have Soul Blight thrown in. It's cool seeing Soul Blight. I don't think it's that great. I mean, I think the best part of it is reducing that weapon strength down to 33. But overall, I mean, it's not a huge, fantastic spell. I'm not even sure what the Overcast is like either. It might be a little bit better, but I'm not sure. Roger Champions engage with these Rangers, just keeping them from that point smartly enough. If I was the High Elf player in this occasion, I would probably send those Lothar and Seaguard around to get onto that point. And also just shoot the champions in the back. Though we do have a lot of Norskins here who could theoretically go over and assist. So these Norskin Warhounds have been engaged by the Fireborn, but they are getting away. And the Fireborn are just going to have a field day here. I mean, the Skin Wolves do have anti-large. Again, not a lot of AP, but the Fireborn have 110 armor this time. So yeah, just off the charge right there, you can see that the Skin Wolves are really not going to like this engagement with their fire weakness. Though they do have physical resistance, which will help keep them in the fight longer. If I were the High Elf player, I would not be disengaging the Fireborn right here. But I understand why you have the throwing axes coming over, and my issue is that the Skin Wolves are just going to keep catching up and attacking them in the flank, which is not great for leadership wise. And obviously, when the Fireborn aren't attacking back, they're just taking damage that they shouldn't be. Lyran Reavers are chasing down these Norskin Ice Wolves, but in return, we do have some the Ice Trolls coming over to help with this engagement. Point one starting to go back in the hands of the High Elf side, but they really make an effort for taking another one of these points, because one is not going to be enough to start catching up. You need to get on point three fast. And the Norskins, they have a solid fortification here on point two. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to take it by just throwing small amounts of forces in. I don't think Lothar and Seaguard are going to be the answer to this. You're going to be throwing more bodies at that point. More White Lions, more Silver and Guard, anything. Heck, maybe even anything just to deal with these Ice Trolls. Could be some more Cav. These Norskin Ice Trolls don't like being charged, so even if they do have a lot of AP and will do a lot of damage back into your Cav, once they get charged, they will take a considerable amount of damage. So, Lothar Seaguard, the Hive player, is starting to notice they really need to get on these points, and he's going to try to send the Lothar Seaguard up onto point two, but I think that is going to be sealing the deal there. I don't think the Hive player can come back from this. There just hasn't been enough infantry sent up to start capitalizing on these engagements that they've been having. And they just have too many ranged units that aren't doing enough for them. The Norskin side has just thrown enough bodies to the point where it's just mitigating a lot of that Lothar and Seaguard fire. And Skin Wolves are just really having a field day, just beating down on a lot of your Cav. So, yeah, unfortunately with Fireborn, they are gone. And that'll go in the hands of the Norskin side. Excellent game from both players. Let's see, Wolfric, what's he got here? 1500 value there. Yeah, Wolfric did fantastic with that. Just constantly going in there, beating down on White Lions and whatnot. and he has some pretty good sea fangs. I only saw one, but I'm sure he got. No, actually, I saw two, so I'm sure he did well with the other one. Yeah, Marauder Champions just did fantastic. Not a lot of AP on the high elf side, aside from those one or two low white lions that were summoned immediately from the beginning of the game. So more AP would have helped there a lot. 700 value on the Deathcaster. And obviously the Soul Blights won't count towards that value, so more value there than you can tell. Everything else did okay. Skin Wolves did fine. Norskin Ice Troll, 700 value on them. The Wolves did fantastic. I mean, this one got 1600 freaking value just chasing down Illyrian Reavers, um, fighting White Lions. Not White Lions, War Lions rather. And the Warhounds did good as well. High Elf side, what are we looking at here? Yeah, not a whole lot of value on the High Elf Mage. I mean, even if they were able to stick around and just cast some Earthbloods, that would have been hugely beneficial for them, but they got picked off fairly early with those Spirit Leeches, and I think at one point, what was it? Maybe they engaged, and I don't know. But nonetheless, they had a tough time there and were not able to provide a whole lot of value. That one initial dwellers that got dropped, wasn't on a great target. Should have been dropped on champions, but you know what can you do? There's a lot of stuff on the field you got to micro, so easy to miss the important units. 700 value on Days Lothern Sea Guard, probably just shooting in at Ice Trolls mostly. 900 on this one. But yeah, whenever you're 1200 value on this one, whenever you're having such a huge amount of Lothern Sea Guard, or just that general amount of range units, they have to pay off, and you have to have something to capitalize, or rather, at least defend them, and also capitalize on that amount of damage you're doing with those ranged weapons, those ranged units. Don't think Phoenix Guard really belong here, but would have been cool to see them in. Yeah, unfortunately the high elf player just didn't have a lot in their reinforcements, so I understand why so little bodies were thrown at the field. More white lions would also have been good. They could have beat down the champions and just general marauders that, or just pretty much any infantry unit that the Norskin side would have thrown at them. The war lions also didn't do fantastic 800 value here. Again, I think these were silver chevroned by the player themselves, so not worth the gold at all entirely. I definitely would have gone for some spearmen or silver and guard. 1800 value on the Fireborn as well. They did great. Yeah, the Fireborn are fantastic in this matchup, so they have a lot of valuable targets. It's just unfortunate that they were kind of pinned down by both the Skin Wolves and the Throwing Axes. Maybe if they were kept more in reserve and were supportive, they would have had a they would have been able to last a bit longer. But yeah, once they engaged with those Skin Wolves, they were kind of stuck there. Even if they ran away, the Skin Wolves are not going to let them go, and those Marauder Throwing Axes were going to catch up. So Flinty Tooth's Crags is the second map of the round, and if Sandwich is able to come back from this, the third one will be Bordeloo Landing. Okay, Yashkov won their match 2-1, and now, luckily for Goose, they can finally play. Yeah, that friendly fire on the White Lions was pretty rough, I gotta say. If that was on purpose by the Norskin side to get them to start doing some friendly fire, that was brilliantly played. But that I think that was mostly just a high elf player not noticing that they were shooting into their own units. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I doesn't matter anyways because they haven't picked their factions yet. I wasn't following the discussion too much with who was it? I think was it Spaghetto who talked about it? The bans declared before the tournament, so there's no targeted bans. I don't remember who, but I think that could help a lot with best of threes rather than 3x3s. Yeah, people will argue that, you know, people will still quote unquote target ban if there's high skill level players in there. But if you're using it just for like noob tournaments or intermediate tournaments, I don't think that's a bad idea. Though I'm not sure how often I'll do best of three simply because it's up to debate. I have to decide. I have to try again with the pre-declared bans before I make a choice because I have to see which one, takes longer than the other, is more enjoyable for the newer players. Because not everyone has the time to spend 4 hours in a tournament, especially on a weekday. It is Tuesday. It's not like it's Friday, so. Maybe if I do these fresh spawn tournaments frequently enough, I can do what Human Boy does and just make a Discord so people can see in real time as players start to get better and go up from the level of fresh spawn to say skiing, Croxagore, etc. Because I've always loved that idea for a Human Boy side, the Vermin League, going from Rat Ogre to Bone Breaker. It's just like such a big achievement for a newer player. You don't really have that in Domination or like a Total Tavern. You can see, the stat page. You've seen like, oh wow, I won a tournament. It'll show you like tournament returnees won, like in the number, but it's not really. I don't know. I don't think it's. I don't think it's enough, really. Enough satisfaction. I don't think you get enough satisfaction from that. Obviously, the avatars are there as well, but you don't really get avatars for winning newbie tournaments. You get them for doing challenges. Also, Sirika, I don't know if you're still here, but or Nexa. I don't know which one you prefer, Nexa or Sirika. I think you use both, but Do you does your intermediate tournaments, do they go towards the leaderboard? Because we have a decent turnout here. I just don't know if it goes to the leaderboard. I just knew that. I don't remember if Platypus's noob tournaments went to the leaderboard either. I know Catholic Alcoholic maybe does noob tournaments. Who was it that does noob tournaments? No, it's not Catholic. It's Leash Lord. Somebody else does them as well, but I don't know if they go towards the leaderboard at all. I mean, I might assume so because I guess why not? I mean, any statistics. Yeah, I mean, anyways, I just assumed why not, but they shouldn't account for the leaderboard. Okay, yeah, I can see the case for why they shouldn't, but it makes sense if you want to go for a more competitive, obviously, a more competitive leaderboard statistic. Then actually no, what am I thinking of? I don't know. I can't see. I can see the argument for why you wouldn't, but at the same time, I can see the arguments for why you would want them counted towards the leaderboard. Because I mean, just because somebody gets a tournament from a tournament win from a new tournament, I don't think it should really count less. But again, I can see why you wouldn't want it. It matters not really. I don't think new players are itching to get on that leaderboard. I mean, theoretically, it's just one win from them. But I guess no. You know what? I can see why, because you don't really want to be down on the leaderboard because of how poorly you're doing in noob tournaments. Yeah, no, I can see the downside to it. Anyways, I think we're gonna be seeing the Lizardman up against the Empire. Lizardman for Peaches, obviously, and Empire for Sandwich. It's been a while since I've seen this matchup, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's still more so in the favor of the Lizardman, even with War Wagons. Because, I mean, you have a lot of options as Lizardman. Though you can't, though one of the pro sides was the Empire is you can just consistently throw cheap bodies. Which, I don't know how Swordsman trades into a skink. I think it's a pretty much wet noodle contest. I think either can win. Actually, I think the skinks lose. But now with their skink buff, and you might see some Croxagores. Yeah, we do see some Croxagores. The skinks would win with the help of those Croxagores. But match is starting. We got Slan Mage Priest of Life for the Lizardman and Carl Franz for the Empire. Now I'm not sure who to root for, my favorite faction or for Karl Franz, because Karl Franz, I mean, he is the Prince and Emperor, but also Bach, 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 and Bach. Slant Mage Priest of Life with Shield of the Old Ones, Regrowth, Earthblood, and Awakening of the Wood. And then Life Bloom. For the front line, we're going to have mostly Saurus with some Saurus Spears, Croxagores, and 1 unit of Skinks. Actually, what am I talking about? There's a lot more Skinks over here. I didn't even notice them. Yeah, some Skinks up front with some more Saurus and units of Croxagores, just a paddle variant. And as you can see from the Croxagore, what are these called? Tooltips, I guess. Croxagore tooltip, they get increased weapon strength when they're near a friendly skink. So they're going to be doing pretty great. Karl Franz, what does he got? Garmoraz and Reichland Roofing, plus Stand Your Ground. And he is on Deathclaw. We do have a front line of mostly spears and sword and board, plus 1 unit of halberds, or 2 units of halberds with 3 war wagons. And we got an Amber Wizard with just Flock of Doom. So we're going to be seeing that Flock of Doom spam. Which is interesting. Hopefully they have a Life Priest in their back pocket, because Karl Franz going to need that healing. You're going to bring a big character like Karl Franz, you're going to need that healing a lot. We have some Huntsmen summoned in. Gold Chevron Huntsman? Why though? Why? I'm not sure why, but Empire player is up to something. I don't know why you would hate Saurus. They just go Bach, 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 and kill all of your infantry units. And also, they stick around for extremely long amount of time. To me, I think they're pretty cool. They're pretty fair. We have some Spear Riders summoned in. And I'm just gonna have a little bit of posturing back and forth from both sides. More Spearmen summoned in to get on to point 1. It seems like it's gonna be focused around point 1 and point 2 for both sides. Which I'm not sure who that benefits really, because rather point 3. Excuse me, I said point 1 and point 2, I think. But yeah, point 2 is going to be Empire's side. So Lizardmen are probably going to be sticking on point 3 and trying to take point 1 from them. And theoretically, point 2 should be easy to keep for the Empire side. I mean, you have that hill advantage, and you can just have layers and layers of state troops holding back all those Saurus and Skinks. While point 1 might go better in the hands of Lizardmen, simply because of how fast their Skinks can vanguard and get onto this point. We do have some ancient salamanders. Words hard. Ancient salamander got summoned in. Going to be taking some shots in at those war wagons. Pretty good counter to the war wagons. Going to do a decent chunk of damage. It has some solid AP, and it does give that flammable debuff on them. Will it get a shot in before the war wagons retreat? And it is. It is going to get a nice shot in, and we'll see how it does. 4,800 HP down to 4,341. Yeah, that's some solid damage. So slowly over time, we will see a war wagon model or 2 knocked off. Point 1 is in the favor of the Empire side, just because Skinks, I don't believe, have as much cap weight as most infantry. I think they have a little less. I could be wrong though. But the Croxagores coming in will start to throw that in the favor of the Lizardmen. Salamander is being screened out a bit by those Huntsmen. And that's what they're for. They do have that bonus versus large on those missiles at 8. Not a lot of AP, but you don't really need it whenever you're up against whenever you're up against Lizardmen most of the time, I say. But and I mean, the Ancient Salamandra doesn't have like, it's kind of easy to hit. So, Golden Spear Riders get a Earthblood thrown on top of them. We do have some Pterodon Riders, interesting, summoned in. I'm not sure what their application is here, but especially considering the Huntsman, maybe for those rock drops, maybe we're going to see a big old devilish rock drop. I'm not sure, but these Pterodon are getting destroyed right now by those Huntsmen and by those War Wagons. Crocsugars coming in, start beating down on these Spearmen, helping the Saurus out. Probably would have sent them over to the Skinks, but yeah, Carl Brands is going to start coming in here and feeding Deathclaw some alligator for dinner. We also have some grenade launchers, Outriders, with silver chevroned Outriders for some reason. Why? I do not know why. For that accuracy, I guess. But, okay. Those grenade launcher shots are going to do some work into the Saurus. If the Lizardmen can't counter them. And they are sending some Pterodons to chase after them or to screen them out. So not a whole lot happening on point 3, but the War Wagons are going to start coming over here, start popping some shots in. Maybe another Salamander shot in on these War Wagons. Just can slowly whittle them down. Pterodons have unfortunately been caught by the Emperor, and are going to try to get away, but in return they're going to be taking Huntsman fire while they try to flee. Skinks slowly whittling away at these Spearmen. You have an overcasted Earthblood thrown on top of them and the Pterodons. It hit the Pterodons as well. Yes, it did. Unfortunately, it did not hit the Salamander, though. I would have sent you need to send these Skinks around to get onto those Huntsmen. Because, again, you don't want your infantry blobbing like that. These Outriders aren't doing as much damage as I would expect, though they are whittling the Saurus down and causing their formation to become disrupted. Two of the old ones got popped, but I would have possibly moved it and put it over here instead. Pterodons chasing down these Outriders might be able to get them off the field, hopefully. Crocsagors have had a tough time down to 1600 HP. And only 6 models. They are going to take another volley from those Huntsmen. Man, Huntsmen are just so incredibly freaking good. Even if they weren't Gold Chevron, they're just fantastic. We have 2 Huntsmen here just whittling away at the large units for the Lizardman side. Yeah, these Cold One Riders are just going to have a tough time here. If you're going to be engaging with the Cold One Spear Riders on the War Wagons, you just have to be careful whenever you're dealing with Huntsmen, because look how fast they are whittling them down. You need to send them into the Huntsmen or get something on top of them. We do have some Skink cohorts with Javelins throwing some volleys into their these Huntsmen, which is pretty good. That did a considerable chunk of damage there. Wow. Gotta love me some Skinks. We're gonna have an Ancient Salamander shot in on these Riders. Any models you can kill is less ammunition to be shooting out. Also, these War Wagons are just wasting all of their ammunition on cohorts, which is not fantastic. You need to bring these guys around the other side and start shooting in at that slun. Stop those Earthbloods from coming in. Point 1 is, however, in the hands of the Lizardmen. Same with point 3. So you have a 2-point cap lead for the Lizardmen's side. Points, however, are a little more in the favor of the Empire. But with due time, Lizardmen will start to catch up. Crocsagor is getting on top of these Outriders, though, again, with this Huntsman fire, my god, these Crocsagors are just going to have a terrible day, even with that 100 armor. Just that volley of fire is really, really rough. What are these War Wagons even shooting at right now? I'm not entirely sure. But they're shooting at Skinks again. More wasted War Wagon shots on Skinks. But the War Wagons are now going to start targeting these Cold War Riders, who are not charging on anything right now. Actually, they're just getting stuck through these Swordsmen because they were pathed incorrectly, which is really, really bad. These Cold War Riders are going to have a tough... Please stop brute forcing them through the Swordsmen. They are... those Cold War Riders are not going to have a good day. Huntsmen finishing off these Crocsagors. We do have some more Huntsmen over here with only 2 volleys left. And we do have the Zindalos Reichsguard. Nice. Awesome to see these guys. Fantastic unit. I have some pretty good stats at 4339 with 62 charge bonus. Pretty fat charge bonus. And ITP. You don't really see them that much nowadays. They were pretty good. But they're just a lot other cav units to prefer using. Like the Empire Knights. They just very cheap and cost effective. We're gonna get some Cold Riders on top of these Huntsmen, but yeah, just this firing squad is so tough for the Lizardman Cav to deal with. Though they are gonna get on top of on both Huntsmen, so it's gonna stop them from shooting. But the issue is we have even more Huntsmen and range in general over here on this side. What do we have summoned in? Some Empire Knights and the Sigmar Sun, plus some more Swordsmen or Spearmen. Yep. Yeah, these Coldon Riders just had a really, really tough time. Only got 6 kills and 74 value. Yeah. If the Lizardman player can notice, they can still salvage them, bring them around, but I just think the Lizardman player has forgotten about them. And a lot of these, I mean, to be fair, it's mostly skinks. But yeah, these Sword Spears can be brought over maybe. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. 0.1 is still in the hands of the Lizardman, and it's going to be staying that way, it seems like. Skinks are being unsummoned, so clean up back here. I say that, but it seems like Empire might make a resurgence on the side. A lot of the infantry for the Lizardman on 0.1 has been unsummoned. How are how's the Salamander doing? We got 2 models down for the War Wagons. They might get another shot in here. Karl Franz is finishing off these Cold One Riders. These Kroxigors stuck in some Spearmen. I would probably send them over to try to chase down these Huntsmen. But Karl Franz is probably not going to let that happen. Huntsmen just firing away, continuing to fire on these Skeen cohorts. 0.1 is still in the hands of the Lizardman. Empire player needs to start. Yeah, they're trying their best. They're trying to get these Sigmar Suns and other units on top of that 0.1. But it's taking time. It's taking a bit of time. We do have some more swords over here coming. Probably bring these spears as well. Doesn't seem like Lizardmen are pushing for 0.2. So. But it's pretty tight in terms of points. We have 774 for the Lizardman side and 653 for the Empire. Plenty of room. These matches today have been pretty good scrap, pretty close, even fights. But Intra Salamander has been beat up, 660 HP. Not going to be coming back from this. I mean, they have plenty of room to heal if the Lifesland has any more healing left. But the Lifesland, for some reason, is on 0.3 now. Interestingly enough, I guess because they foresaw that the 0.1 would eventually be taken by the Empire. I'm not entirely sure. But if that's the case, then they can start pushing to 0.2 if they don't think that they're going to take back 0.1. I say that, but they did summon some Saurus and some Skinks. If you're not going to heal up the Ancient Sally, you could just retreat it once it comes back. Hopefully the player notices this time and sends the Spear Riders through this gap and it doesn't get caught up on swords, and it seems like it might be so. Though the Empire player is noticing it and is trying to engage them with the Spearmen. If the Lizardman player brute forces past them, they won't be able to catch up. And it seemed like so, though they will lose a few models unfortunately because that's just the way it goes. Slan is coming over. They are going to be trying to take back 0.1. We do have, again, this infantry, a mass amount of infantry coming over. The Saurus and Skinks. You don't have a lot of actual infantry on the point for Empire side. Overcasted Flock of Dune on top of these Saurus and Kroxigor will wood them a little bit. I actually don't know what the Overcasted Flock of Doom does. I don't know if it increases that. I think it increases the duration. But nonetheless, this is actually some Sacred Kroxigors. We got some big old mace boys coming in. They're gonna be beating down on the Asaurus. Really nice. I love to see these guys. Not sure why they brought these guys in. Maybe just to deal with Franz, I guess. And again, yeah, see that no life. Oh wait, Karl Franz is going over for that Slan. You've got to bring those Kroxigors back to protect that Slan because Karl Franz will not be kind to that Slan. How many times can I say Slan in a minute? But yeah, Lizardman player notices going to bring in these Kroxigors over to try to protect their Slan, but Slan are notoriously hard to deal with. They're very tanky for some reason, and they don't have fantastic melee stats. 2432, but people seriously hate slams for the Lizardmen just because of how hard they are to kill, even with an anti-large fighter like Garmoraz. I mean, Garmoraz. Is that all I am to you is Garmoraz? Yeah, actually, the Slan terrifies. If Carl Franz can be tied down here by these Pterodons and the Croxivores, that could spell doom here for the Empire. I mean, these Croxivores aren't exactly anti-large specialists, but they do put out a lot of armor-piercing damage, 84. I don't know why the Slan is coming back over here. Actually, I think it's just the animation, idle animation of him coming back from routing. Yeah, I definitely would bring him out of there. Yep, and the Lizardman player is going to do so. More Pterodon Riders summoned in. 1,000 points for the Lizardman side. 961 for the Empire. Yeah, this is a rare scrap. This could definitely go either way, but losing Karl Franz here could be really, really big here. But he has plenty of room to exit. It's just the issue is that, yeah, one, he's running him in the direction of the Croxivores and not the other way. Though I say that, and Karl Franz is going to get out of there. Nice. Nice save there by the Empire side, but also kind of a fail there for the Lizardman. But the Empire player is getting greedy. I don't know. Oh, yeah, love that. For newer players, just got to watch out for that. Sometimes the flying animation just will bug out and not let them attack. But, you know, eventually he landed and started attacking. But this is really brave there by the Empire side. Karl Franz could easily die here in trading with that Slan. Also, the Slan is trying to run through Karl Franz, which is not a great idea. You know, just turn him around, send him the other way. Sigmar Sun fighting down to the last single sun, and he just gets paddled by a Croxigore. Yeah, point one is staying in the hands of Karl Franz, or rather, excuse me, in the Lizardman side. Karl Franz falls possibly here soon with 600 HP. The Slan is actually gonna fall as well, 400 HP. We'll see, but it seems like it won't go well for Karl Franz here. Yeah, it seems like that Lizardman might take the win here. It's possible that the Empire will take point 3 back, excuse me, from the Lizardman, but even if they do, the Lizardman can just send over units fairly quickly if they notice. And hopefully they do notice, because point 3 is fairly important for them. And it's only like a spearman and a halberd, so it's not very hard to get rid of. If you could just send those pterodons over there, even just to drop some rocks on them, that'd be good. Yeah, I'm surprised actually they already used it, but I'm surprised that there's no Sunmaker. Yeah, Sunmaker is perfect in this matchup just to use on Saurus and just get those skinks off the field as quick as possible. It's really weird not to see the Sunmaker in this, but I mean, it's not like the range hasn't been effective. All these huntsmen have doing such a spectacular job. It's just, I think I'd rather have a Sunmaker over a bunch of gold chevron huntsmen. It could pay for them. It could pay for itself a lot quicker than these huntsmen can. And not only that, you can get more infantry bodies on the field, which is what the Empire is severely lacking on. The Lizardman player is just constantly throwing bodies at them, and there's nothing that the Empire player can do because they're typically only having like one or two, like a couple of sword and board on the field. Yeah, just a lot of huntsman range fire going on right now, and not a whole lot of point catching, unfortunately. So yeah, this is definitely going in the hands of the Lizardmen. Point 1 has stayed in their hands, so unfortunately this is over. But good match, solid match, well played by Peaches and Sandwich. Yeah, there's huntsmen. They're good, but they're just not enough for you to be clearing these points out. And you need to clear those points of all those Saurus, because those Saurus will just make mincemeat out of your state troops. You really, really need that Sunmaker or some heavy artillery to pound away at them. I mean, I love the idea of bringing as many huntsmen as you did, but when you don't have a lot of large targets, I mean, when the large targets aren't your main issue, which they weren't there, the Kroxigor were good, but they aren't your main issue. It's just all this infantry, all this cost-effective infantry. When you don't have an answer to those, then you're just gonna have a really, really tough time there. But value-wise, nothing. Oh wow, yeah, these swords 1500 value, just beating down on halberds. Yeah, just look at that. Saurus love munching on state troops. State troops have a terrible time fighting Saurus. Wow. 1000 value on a Pterodon Rider. I haven't seen that in a while. Or usually ever. The good Crocswords did pretty good. 2100 value on this one. This is probably the one that was beating down on Carl Franz, who unfortunately passed. But that's also a thing as well. If you're going to bring a big, expensive, terror-causing unit like Carl Franz, you need that life caster to keep him topped up because he is one of the most expensive parts in your army. So he needs to put in work, and to put in work, he needs to stay topped up. And with the Lizardman, you could take a lot of damage fairly quickly with like these Croxigors and Salamanders. So having that healing to help mitigate some of that damage taken, it's just really important. But I mean, the Amber Wizard didn't do terribly. 1000 value there. It's just the Flock of Dooms aren't really going to be your answer there. War Wagons did okay. This one did fine. The other one's kind of just wasting their shots in on all those infantry units. Nittler's Reichsguard did alright. The Outriders did okay, but again, just kind of a waste of silver. That gold could have been spent elsewhere instead of Chevron in a lot of these units. Yeah, the Huntsman did great. It's just, again, they're not going to win you those points. Yeah, 1800 value here, 2200 value, 1200 value. They did fantastic. It's just, but also the thing is, you're spending a lot of gold as well on these chevrons. So, but great match from both players. Awesome to see. Well played. Let's see what the rest of these matches are looking like. Even mortars, yeah, even mortars could have also been good as well. They're fairly inaccurate, but it would have helped starting to clear up some of those lizardmen and skink blobs because there was a lot of blobbing that could have been punished. The Empire, they thrive off of gunpowder, so you need more gunpowder. The arrows are great, but more gunpowder, please. Faith, steel, and gunpowder. That's their motto for a reason. Big boom. Big boom make a lizard go dead. But no, yeah, fantastic match for both players. Peaches advances on to face Vanetsu. We have Poetic Goose facing up against Yashkov. Their match should be going on right now. Harrison is just waiting for that winner from that match. I say we just continue following, otherwise we will be waiting for a while because I'm not sure how long the matchup between Yashkov and Goose will take, considering they just started recently. I mean, have they started? Let's see. I'd assume they have. It could also just be on their second round as well, so. second or third. Vanessa's is a 1 elf player? Okay. Yeah. I'm assuming people don't want to see Glinty Tooth's crack again, so I'll just follow in that case. And hopefully we'll see some, I don't suppose this is the... I also could have missed that as well. What the hell? Let me just join this random match. I don't know if this is it. I don't think it is. Actually, let me just see what the map is for it so I can just tell immediately. The Lost Temple of Sotek. Yeah, it's this one. Sandwich is still in here. Just gotta wait for him to them to dip out. Let me just check on a few things. All right. No, not a whole lot of admonition, admining needing to be done. Onsetsu should arrive soon, hopefully. and we can get on going. In the meantime, I will return in just a moment, folks. Alright, I've returned, and it seems we do have our player finally in. Wonderful. I definitely do think the 3x3 is making this take a lot longer than it should. So we'll see. Maybe next time I could also do, I don't know, double elimination. I think it's not good anymore. It just takes too long. I think it's either best of 3 or Swiss is what you got to go with. But will we see some wood elves today, huh? Will we see some wood elves? I mean, hopefully, right? What are the wood elves looking like on that statistic page? We're not doing too terribly. 48% for them. I mean, you know, obviously not a huge sample pool. We got a total of, I mean, that's a pretty decent chunk of games. A little over 160, 70, 170. Fairly even with Zinch, surprisingly. I would expect Zinch to be more favored in that matchup, but I guess you do have I guess a lot of your range do have magic damage. Magic weapon. Magic ammunition. So can mitigate most of all the physical resistance that that the Zinch have, and you do have those Weight Watchers for armor piercing. I'm expecting most of the battles far from Circia, but I would say like probably 50%. But seems like the Lizardman and Siege are probably the most popular, aside from maybe Slaanesh, surprisingly. Ogre Kingdom's down to 35%. That is rough. I mean, again, not as huge of a sample pool as other factions, but wow. I mean, comparing that to previous, I mean, yeah, look at that. 70% win rate. And again, at second on the leaderboard with 61%. They were tough to beat. I mean, with the Nobbler Trappers buff, unnecessary Nobbler Trapper buff, and they just can't remember what else they had that was. I know CA messed up something else, and it caused them just to skyrocket in terms of performance. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I'm so surprised that it's so even because I mean I figured that Zinch would have an absolute field day because they have so much more cost-effective troops and ranged as well. I mean, I'm sure we'll see some much different stats with the new season now that once the DLC drops, because a lot more people will be active again. But it looks like we have the Beastmen against the Wood Elves. Hey, we got some Wood Elves, Serkia. Let's go. How do you fare the Beastmen versus Wood Elves matchup? Because I don't really know. Gotta say, I don't know. But for the Beastman, we're going to have a Great Bray Shaman of Death up against a Spellweaver of Life. Only a quarter. No way. I mean, what else do you even play, Seriki, huh? Huh? No way you play anything besides elves. So, first, we're going to start with the Beastman. We got the Great Bray Shaman on his chariot. The Tuskor chariot with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. Plus Life Leeching. And what the heck is this? Distorted Reality? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Wow. Seems like a debuff for nearby enemies, minus melee attack and speed and whatnot. Anyways, front line of Gore Herd with some Blackhorn's Ravagers. Pretty good unit there. They got that Rowdy ability and Vanguard deployment. Like, I think that's the only really difference is Rowdy. And just, better stats. Just a pretty good unit. Oh, they also have stock. Huh? Well, yeah, anyways, yeah, I love the Blackhorn's Ravagers. Gore Herd up front with some Ungors, and we also have some Bestigors, huh? They've been performing pretty, not great lately, but we'll see how they do. We got some Ungor Raiders as well. It's a staple for your matchup, and we also have a Cygor. I've been casting a lot of land battle replays, and you don't see a Cygor. I haven't seen a Cygor in a while because they're just generally not that great in land battles, but in domination, on the other hand, they can put in quite a bit of work over time. I love a good Cygor. Spellweaver of Life on her little pigeon with Opal Amulet, Earthblood, and Dwellers. Seeing too many elves today. Can we get some not elves, please? Thanks very much. Treekin, 3 Treekin with a bunch of Deepwood Scouts, Shift Swiver Shards, Eternal Guard as well, and some War Dancers. See how the War Dancers do. Hopefully well. We have some Treekin vanguarded up on the right hand flank and 2 in the center. These are all Swift Swiver Shards, right? Swift. Blah, blah. I don't like saying that. But Treekin, they're kind of tough to deal with as a Beastman. I mean, you have a lot of Ungor Raider fire, which will slowly add up, but I mean, they don't do a lot of damage, first of all, and Treekin just have a whopping 90 armor, and on top of that, missile resistance and physical resistance. They are tough to deal with. Although you need that whenever your infantry will run away at the sight of, or rather, not run away, Beastman infantry will run away. Wood Elf infantry will stay, but take a lot of damage in return. Though I guess that's what you have your internal guard at least. Yeah, okay, yeah. I figured it was pretty even, but I didn't want to say I wasn't too sure. They're both pretty kind of skirmish-ish heavy factions. With some heavy Vanguard deployment. Yeah, this Beastman build is interesting. We'll see. I'm not sure what the Bestigors are for, really, because I mean, they can, eventually take down the Treekin, but I wouldn't be bringing Bestigors for Treekin, so maybe they expect something else? I'm not sure. Do you have some Glade Riders with Hagbane tips? Got that magic ammunition plus poison. Could do pretty good. Right off the bat, the Beastman size is going to get on 0.1 and start getting on 0.3. We do have some internal guard coming over too with the Shrieking. Wow, that boulder just direct hit. Didn't kill a model, but pretty nice. I mean, knocked that guy over. Seems like the Wood Elf player is not going to go for 0.1 at the moment. It's just going to push straight up to his 0.3, which is typically what's done. I mean, no other point to, right? Whenever you the Beastman side have so many Vanguard units they can bring in. We'll probably bring in these Minotaurs over here on this side because to deal with those Treekin. Yeah, what am I talking about? The Beastmen do have something to do with the Treekin. It's Minotaurs. But obviously the Minotaurs are going to have a tough time being shot at the entire time. Ungors will obviously lose to War Dancers. Shadow's Coil popped to mitigate some of that damage. Up to 62 melee defense. Nice boulder dropped in on those War Dancers. We're going to have Dwellers below dropped on those Blackhorn's Ravagers. That sucks. Poor Blackhorn Ravagers. But, oh well, what can you do? We do have the Great Weapons coming over. Try to help out with that engagement. Yeah, unfortunately, those Ungor Spearmen are just going to get butchered. I mean, as you can expect, Eternal Guard and War Dancers beating down on them. Gorehorde are just battling with the Treekin. 0.3 goes to the Wood Elf side. 0.1 in the hands of the Beastmen. We do have the Internal Guard and War Dancers pushing up a little bit too much. Gorehorde are going to come over and try to whittle them down. A what? A Fate of Buna on the War Dancers? I mean, okay. I mean, that isn't a terrible choice, I suppose. Unger Raiders backing off. Gonna try hopefully turn around and start shooting in at these Glade Riders. Minotaurs are in, trying to take apart those Treekin, but again, they're very hard to take down, even with these great weapons. And we also have Glade Riders coming in, try to help mitigate that damage from those Minotaurs. But obviously, they're not going to want to stick around for super long up against Ungor Spears. Even if they are just Ungors, they do have Spears, so they will do damage over time. Blackhorn's Ravagers are going to come in, try to get on top of those Deepwood Scouts. Good, because those Minotaurs are being lit up. You probably want to bring those guys out. Yeah, they're taking so much damage. Though we do have some more summoned in. They're being tied up by Eternal Guard. Not great value-wise. What do we just have here? An Earthblood casted on these Treekin. Not bad. I'm hitting these... Nope, they didn't hit the Treekin either. It was just the Dryads. Spellweaver coming over, trying to get these Blackhorn's Ravagers off of those Deepwood Scouts, which will probably happen in a little bit because they are also being shot at by the other Deepwood Scouts as well. You have a Manticore summoned in, gonna come over, probably, I'm assuming get on top of these Deepwood Scouts. Yeah, seems like that. Seems like the case. We do have the Bestigors coming over here. Wow, with a little flank here. These Gorehorde are getting on top of these Dryads, but the Bestigors are going towards the Glade Riders, though. They get tied up by these Dryads. Not good. We need to disengage them from those. Spellweaver get a Spirit Leech thrown on top of them. Feral Manticore get on top of the Deepwood Scouts. Will do a little damage. Get them to stop shooting is the most important part. We do have a big old boulder thrown in on this Eternal Guard. Gonna do a little damage. What's their kill count looking like? 48 kills, 541 gold value. It's doing okay. Not too shabby. What happened with those Minotaurs of great weapons? Did they come over here? I guess they came over here and started fighting these Creekin. Though again, they do have War Dancers with spears, so those Minotaurs could be in a whole lot of hurt if they players and pull them out from there. Do we have these Minotaurs over here on the other side, however, who have finished off these Treekin? We'll probably shatter them eventually. Centaurs with great weapons. Centaurs with great weapons coming over. Gonna be able to, I'm not sure what these great weapons are here for. I guess probably just, again, to deal with more Treekin. But I probably would have brought in the normal Centaurs instead, just to get on top of these Deepwood Scouts. Ungor Raiders just start shooting in and trying to put it into work. But again, that Treekin armor and these Eternal Guard shields will make it tough for them to pick up any value there. Great Stagnite summoned in. Nice. They get a rear charge in on these Bestigor, and yeah, those Bestigor are not going to stick around long. Yeah, they're gone. Didn't make a whole lot of value there. They were mostly just beating up on Dryads, which is not where they want to be, really. Tentagors coming over. Gonna probably get a charge in on the Deepwood Scouts, though they're actually going to turn around and say, nope, not dealing with those great Stagnites and these Dryads, no thank you. Though, actually, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe the order just got dropped, but now they're continuing to charge, and are also getting charged by the Great Stagnite. It's not going to be a great fight for them, honestly. Great Stagnites will win that fight eventually. Point one in the point three. Just I mean a 3-point cap for the Wood Elf side. Beastmen are just being overrun here. There's not a whole lot they can do. Every time they throw out a unit, it just gets run over by Blade Riders or Treekin. These great weapons are trying to stick around, but again, swarmed around by spears and being shot at the same time, they're not going to love that. But let me see what that value is. 1100 value, not bad. For being in spears mostly. You have some great weapons over here. I'd probably unsummon them because, I mean, you're not going to do a whole lot with 3 models. Though maybe they can make a play for point 2 while the Wood Elf player chases with that spear unit. So, sending in some Ungors over to try to take that point, but yeah, just not going to happen. Point 3 looks like it's starting to go in the favor of the Beastmen. Though that's just because the Wood Elves don't have much on it at the moment besides the Stagnites. So, yeah, these Goreherd need to get on the point and get these Cynagors to rear charge into these. What is happening here? It's like this weird pathing issue that's happening. Like they're doing the conga line again. Yeah, if they can go around and get a rear charge in on these Glade Riders, that'd be really helpful. Free up these Ungorherds, getting to let them go onto the point. Another Spirit Leech thrown on top of that Spellweaver. Manticore came back and is trying to chase down that Spellweaver, get her away from the rest of the battlefield. We have some War Dancers over here catching up onto the Cynagors. Going to, unfortunately, finish them off possibly. I mean, the Cynagors are pretty healthy. Actually, they're not. They're not that healthy. So, yeah, those War Dancers will finish them off. Cygor, how's it doing? 117, 900 value. Not too shabby, I suppose, but you know, it's gonna be tough whenever trees are just blocking your boulders. When the Manticore unfortunately just does not have the speed to catch up to the Spellweaver, but I guess if you're screening her out, that's still important. Yeah, it just seems like the Beastman player is just unfortunately struggling and to even hold on to a single point. They're trying to capture point 2, sending those Ungors to stop, or rather sending these Minotaurs over there to stop the Treekin from coming onto the point could help, but I don't think it really matters because if the Wood Elf player notices, they can just force path them onto the point. And then again, there's still these Eternal Guard as well. So yeah, the Beastman player is just getting really shut out here. They're just, anytime they throw something at a point, it just gets immediately run over by Treekin and Dryads. It's really tough. I think the Cynagors with great weapons are not the answer here, first of all, I gotta say. You don't need that AP really for anything. The Treekin, sure, but that's what you have your great weapon Minotaurs for. And even then, like the great weapons are gonna struggle whenever you're sending them in without any support. Another overcasted Spirit Leech thrown on top of that Spellweaver. But even if you kill that Spellweaver, it's not gonna amount. It's not gonna amount to a win. And we're gonna have an Earthblood as well to throw on top of her just to mitigate that damage from that Spirit Leech. Point 1 is starting to go in the hands of the Beastmen. They could definitely come back from it. It's just when you're throwing like staggered units out like this, as soon as you get any points, you're gonna have a tough time being able to take 1 point whenever there's so many units on the field and you're just throwing 1 or 2. Yeah, the Beastman player is gonna bow out there, and Wood Elf are gonna get that win. And unfortunately for Peaches, seems like Venetsu just knows what to do whenever they're up against the Beastman. solid, solid shutout there from the Wood Elf side. They did fantastic. As much as I love to see Cygor, they didn't do a whole lot. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's really the map to bring it on because of just the amount of trees that can block your shots. And honestly, the boulders just aren't going to be super cost effective against the Wood Elves. First of all, their range units are very open skirmish formation, so it's not going to be as effective as if it was against a bunched up formation, say like Peasant Archers or Sisters of Avalon. So right there, there's already a downside, and even when you throw those boulders into say Treekin, they have a lot of HP per model. They have that armor as well. Sure, the Cygor has good AP on his boulders, but you're gonna have to throw a lot of boulders to start killing doing any forms of damage to the Treekin. So the Cygor doesn't really belong, but he's still cool. I mean, and he's not really the big issue here. I think the issue here is one, your Centaurs are great weapons. Two, the Bestigors, really. The Bestigors, you don't need them here. Their armor isn't really going to save them. And they're just not that great of an infantry killing unit. They take too long to kill. I'd probably go with probably drop the Bestigor horde and get some more Ungors. You don't even need the shields, but the shields will help against the missile fire. So you can just bring more Ungor in. Just bring regular Centaurs as well. Manticore is okay. Throwing axes you're not really going to utilize much because of the range fire, but they could help with Treekin as well. So as long as you just keep them out of Wood Elf fire, they could be useful. But yeah, I mean, 1300 value on these great weapons. Everything else did okay. The Deathcaster did fine, 1200 value. And yeah, not too shabby for the Beastman there, value-wise. Well, yeah, those Shift Wiver shards just had a field day, honestly. I mean, these two didn't make as much value, but they were just open fire season, just shooting at Beastmen all day long. The Wood Elves love that. Yeah, the Stag Knights did great as well, 1200 value. Love to see that. They're pretty good. Iberian Tips did good too, 600 value. Even the Dryads, yeah. But on to Rifts at World's Edge as the second map. Drycha's roaring in anticipation at that win. Another win for the Azurai. Orion, I think he would be proud. I think he'd be proud there. Pretty good showing there from the Wood Elves. And, you know, obviously a thematic matchup. Wood Elves hate the Beastmen, so I don't even need to say hate. They don't have any emotion towards them besides, like, I mean, I guess disgust is an emotion. Just disgust. Just plain disgust. Another thing as well is that I think the Beastman player focused a little bit too much on trying to kill the caster for the Wood Elves. Yes, getting the live caster off the field can be a very, very big catch, but and can, you know, turn it in your side to win. But whenever you have other units like the Swift Shards, which are being the targets of hills, Mm, trying to get those units off the field, if you can't get the Lord off the field, is more important. Focusing your attention on those. And the best way to get those off the field, obviously, is with, say, Centigores. If you can throw in Fate of Bunas on them, wouldn't be a terrible option. Like, yeah, you're spending a lot of wins just to do that, but saving your Minotaurs from getting missile fired to death, uh, I mean, it's got to be worth it, right? But yeah, no mooing today for the Beastmen. The mooing has been shut down by the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are sick and tired of hearing cows moo. They're tired of it. Enough. Noise complaints sent in, and Orion has answered. Or rather, in this case, the Spellweaver. Sirs, I need you to move out of my forest. I don't think they would be so polite. Move out of my forest or you'll be answering to the trees. I'm surprised that we didn't get that line from Carillion. Oi, lumberhooves. She never called them lumberhooves. Missed opportunity. I guess she'd rather kill them than say anything to them. Not like they could probably understand them. Understand her. Before the triads smell your cowardice. Please don't tell me it's more Norska High Elves. Please don't tell me it's more Norska High Elves. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like what else, Heil? I mean, excuse me, Norska Hiles again. Great. Just in case, let me check. Yeah, it seems like so. Might let the remaining players know that if they want to play the games another day, I mean, they can go on ahead. I'm perfectly fine with catching them later on. It is getting fairly late, at least for Americans. I don't know if they are or not, or at least CST wise, it is. Once the new DLC drops, I think I'm gonna have to start designing some avatars, because I've done some before, but kind of stopped doing them immediately, like right after, just because that other stuff came up. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to make some more. And with the probably resurgence of players, it could, help keep people motivated to keep playing. After that first week or two, or month or two, rather. But here we go. Norska versus the High Elves. Wolfric is back, and unfortunately, he has an even mightier foe to go up against. It's Imric. I presume a life caster, yes. And that I'm guessing that's the Death caster, from what I can tell from the icon. For the Norskin side, Marauders champions. With a Manticore, some Marauders with great weapons as well. All right, for the Norskin side, again, Wolfric with Sea Fang and Foe Seeker. No sort of Torvald this time. Is he Horse-Rick? Yes, he is. He is Horse-Rick with a Shaman Deathcaster with Spirit Leech and Soul Blight. It's interesting seeing Soul Blight. Gotta give it to Peaches for bringing Soul Blight. Kind of cool. I'm not sure if it's just a high elf counter high elf thing, but nonetheless, Marauders up front, champions as well with some great weapons in the back. We have some javelins, which will definitely help with dealing with Imric, because he is a force to reckon with. We got Dragon Rick with his items, Dragon Horn and Star Lance. Dragonhorn, as you can see, buffs all allies nearby with 24 melee attack and even giving them fear. Star Lance, just granting a huge weapon strength buff to him, plus that fat charge bonus and flaming attacks. Oh no, we lost Fansetsu. Not good. Or did I drop? Did both players drop? Or did I drop? What's going on here? Because neither player in the lobby. Don't know what that's about. Let's see what's going on. I'll send them a message, see what's going on. Might be that I just eye dropped. Which will be unfortunate. Okay, yeah, so it was just I that dropped for some reason. I don't know why I would drop, but nonetheless. Let's see. What is their name here? See, yeah, I dropped from that match, unfortunately, and I'll see about casting Harrison's or Yashkev's. Actually, it's Harrison and Goose. Excuse me. I think I added the right people. Yeah. I sent the other matchup a message. We'll see if they answer, and I'll spectate that one. But if not, then we'll see where we go. Maybe I should message both players in the off chance. But also, I could just end it here and let them play off stream. And I could just cast it at another time. That also could work. My voice is getting fairly tired, so. Yeah, I think that's the bet here for today, folks. I'm going to probably end the stream there and cast the replays on a different day. Maybe on a different stream or just separate video replays. I'm not sure. I think probably a stream is probably the best bet, just so I can knock them all out at once. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching and participating in the tournament. Hopefully you guys had fun. I know there's a bit of downtime, but you know, it takes a little bit of finessing to figure out a good sweet spot. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.